Be sure to wave at the spotter spark off the left there. They're doing a nice live stream right now.
Alright, we'll give them a good wave.
Welcome back in, everybody, to live plane spotting from the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul International Airports on this Thursday across the state. It's a gorgeous day outside, and it is going to be a fantastic evening for live plane spotting. Hope you can stick around with us today. We've got a couple special guests on tap for you. We've got some heavy departures, some heavy arrivals. A couple of UPS heavies are due in later. We've got Lufty about to leave now. Should be a jam-packed episode as we work towards rush hour. Alex Redding and Paul Hansen at the broadcast booth today. I'm Alex Redding. Paul, it's great to have you back. It's been a while since we last had you on. I know you've been doing a lot of flying, and just so great to have you back. What are you looking forward to the most today out of what we're going to catch?
Well, absolutely. Welcome to everyone, and thank you for having me back. It's been quite a while. I've been flying a lot, everything from the normal routes to the Airbus, and then also doing some fill-in flying on a King Air 350 up to Canada. So it's been a good summer. We had some weather, but I'll tell you what, we are so blessed with today's weather. There is not one cloud in the sky. So thanks everybody for joining us today at Minneapolis Airport Live. Got Lufthansa getting lined up here for departure on 12 right over to Frankfurt. It's a 787-9 -9 series.
787-9 Dreamliner for Lufty.
I'll call your turn off the end. Runway 12 right. Clear for takeoff.
Lufthansa 483 heavy, runway heading, clear takeoff 12 right.
Trying to get our action camera up and running here. It's been a wild and crazy day. We've had all sorts of we've had all sorts of tech issues.
That could be 285.
285, runway 1 straight, taxi via Delta Whiskey, cross runway 4.
What's your rate? Delta Whiskey crash
And Lufthansa is on the roll. 12 right, heading over to Frankfurt. 787-9 on the Dreamliner. It never gets old to me, Alex, to watch the heavies land and depart.
85, turn left heading 120, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
What a gorgeous sight. Adding into the wonderful weather that we have here in Minneapolis today.
Lufthansa 483 heavy, turn left heading 105.
Lufthansa 483 left 105.
And there she goes, banking to the left. See if she goes over my house.
You never know.
They oftentimes do.
And typically with that North Atlantic route, they'll go up over Thunder Bay and then across Canada through New Brunswick and then push off around Gander or Halifax over to Europe.
Because when they go out from here, depending on how they're routed out, and they head out, make that turn to the left. Sometimes they literally go right over the top of my house.
When I lived in St. Paul, they were down to runway 4 for a while, and we lived in Highland Park. So the windows would rattle as they would be about 1,500 to 2,000 feet over the apartment. We got a few corporate aircraft over there at Signature today. They just pulled Marvin Windows Beech 1900D model over. We head back up to War Road. They kind of run it as a little airline, running their staff between Minneapolis and War Road. A couple of flights a day, I believe.
85, contact departure, good day. Country 407, runway 17, lap away, traffic going across downfield.
Runways today are 12 right, 12 left, and 17. Over off in the distance on 17, we've got Endeavor Delta connection. It's a CRJ 900 heading down to a quick flight to Des Moines.
Sun Country 3024, traffic in position.
Lefty's gonna go to the west of my house.
They are, okay.
Yeah, I'm standing here tracking him on flight radar. He's just not passing over the downtown St. Paul Airport. So, people on that flight climbing out on the left side are going to get a great view of downtown St. Paul right now.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, not always, but it does happen.
So I do want to point out something here real quick. We were supposed to be streaming there today. That is the ramp overlooking Terminal 2. That's orange ramp.
Yep.
That is facing us. We were supposed to have gone there today. Unfortunately, Mac had other ideas in the sense that there was a lot of maintenance taking place in the Terminal 2 ramp this morning and will continue throughout the day today. And because of that maintenance, Purple 6 was closed. A lot of the different levels were closed. And Orange 6 was open. However, the bad news, and we would have been streaming over there anyway, the bad news was there was not a space available for us to set up over there.
Oh, makes sense.
Overlooking the airfield. So in a sense, we were kind of SOL, and I made the executive decision to come over here to Terminal 1 to do the live plane spotting. And I know many of you really enjoyed the last time that we were over at Terminal 2. I did as well. I loved that T2 stream back at the end of August.
This is my first time broadcasting from the parking ramps. So I find it really enjoyable. I mean, when we're usually down by the FedEx area, it is nice, but I like having the view that we have. Just turning off the runway 12 right of Delta Airlines.
Heading 100, 12 right, clear for takeoff.
717 just came in from Chicago.
All right, Sun Country, about ready to rock and roll off of 12 right.
And they are heading over. We just right now on the rollover on that 17. We've got Frontier heading down to Dallas.
We're on 12 right for the Sun Country departure with a Tide Pod livery 737-800.
And they are heading over to Traverse City, Michigan.
520 Sierra Charlie, Minneapolis Tower,
The Cherry capital. What a beautiful area Traverse City is, especially this time of year with the fall foliage.
Contact departure today.
Rotate.
Quick move 17.
Positive climb, wheels up.
Delta 1567, monitor ground plane.
I know you probably say that a lot, Paul.
Every other leg. I'll take the first one. My first officer will take the second. We just kind of
take turns.
Yep.
If there's a spot here for us to hold on Charlie, we take that for now. Free, turn right heading 215, contact departure today.
Got a Sun Country taxi over there, headed out from Terminal 2.
That's going over to Los Angeles this afternoon, Alex. That's flight 421.
Do you just want to hold there until you figure it out, or do you still want to cross?
No, we want to cross. Cross 3757.
3757, traffic 3 out at Alpha 8, cross runway 12 right, turn whiskey.
Okay, cross 12 right at Alpha 8, cross 3757. 421, pass behind the Embraer coming across that whiskey.
Okay, behind the Embraer coming across for Sun Country 420. 3853, turn left heading 100, runway 12 left, clear for takeoff. 3826, Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 left, line up the wave.
Beautiful day here in Minneapolis.
Runway heading, runway 17.
Bluebird day, not a cloud in the sky. We've been very fortunate for that, which makes it perfect for plane spotting. A lot of these aircraft are allowed to have a visual, and so they're not being pulled way out to Lake Minnetonka like we sometimes are. We've got Sun Country Prime Air landing on 12 right, coming in from Alliance Field, which is just west of Dallas-Fort Worth, kind of the freighter hub for Amazon. 737-800.
3826, fly runway heading, runway 12 left, clear for takeoff.
Minneapolis today, it's 84 degrees.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Isn't that nice?
Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 left.
You're going to look like you were on a cruise standing here. Can't beat that.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't done in a while. Hope to do it again sometime.
Perfect. I was up in Duluth the other day. There was a French cruise ship cruising Lake Superior. They've been by in two harbors, which was kind of neat. Winds are 160 at 11, gust to 15. It's 84 degrees in Minneapolis. Clear skies.
Mike Sierra, November cross 4, hold short 17, 30.
Unlimited visibility.
Delta 1119, Minneapolis Tower, traffic 3 out at Mike.
If it stays this way, we're going to have a gorgeous sunset from up here.
Yes, we are. 17, Minneapolis to Los Angeles. It's Delta Airlines 1055. It's a 737.
Runway 1 straight taxi to the Alpha, cross to my 4. Alpha cross, 412 right up 366. Encore 3739, Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 left, line up the wave. 3853, if I didn't say it, and contact departure, good day. Got 3826 on hard heading.
And Alex let me know that 12 left is back open. It had been down for quite a while for runway resurfacing and repairs, etc. to the runway over there.
We're going to be quite ready for that. Yes, Gus.
Limited to narrow bodies.
Gus 3757.
Right now we got a flight over there. It's a 757.
And then hold short runway 17.
And that is going to San Francisco, which our cameras are not on, but we are running 3 runways today. 17 for the departures. Occasionally 12 right and 12 left as well.
I heard it.
Yeah?
434 tower. Yeah, what time you want us ready to taxi?
And they're landing on 17 left and right.
Be ready about 5 minutes.
Well.
We can do it. Okay, we'll be ready to taxi in 5 minutes. Jazz 849, Minneapolis Tower. If you checked in, runway 12 left, clear to land, traffic's in position. Seven 756, turn left heading 100, contact departure, good day. 3739.
And only a few months down the road,
left, clear for takeoff.
It'll be cold. Snow.
Yes.
Low visibility. Certainly not our favorite for plane spotting.
Scott 40, 50,
But it will be, it is upon us. Like I said earlier, I was in St. Martin this summer flying. It's always fun to see all the aircraft that go into St. Martin, from the local airlines to the freighters that go in there.
Whiskey 5 with you, 00 Charlie, good day.
Alex Ye, thank you so much for tuning in to our broadcast from MSP International. Where is this view? Top of the ramp? It's better than the viewing area. It can be, yes. We are broadcasting from Terminal 1, Red 8.
Okay, you said you want to go
The
behind
ramp overlooking the south side of Terminal 1.
That may be too long. Where do you want us to wait?
We have a very nice vista of G-gates, as you can currently see.
Hold short, kilo wait. Encore 3739, contact departure, good day.
Hello, greetings from the viewing area, says our wonderful YouTube member, Traveling Cornstalk. Hope you're having a great Thursday.
Just stand by there, I'm going to get this Sun Country
I'm looking over at the viewing area that we're We spend a fair amount of time.
Once they're clear, you're pushed approved for 17.
Quite a crew of people over there watching this beautiful day in Minneapolis.
358.
Alex, what is the farthest we've had a viewer from?
I want to say New Zealand. We've had some folks on from New Zealand.
Minneapolis Tower, fly runway heading, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
Big J Entertainment. Hi, all new to the channel. Just saw it, and I'm like, cool. Well, glad you're liking it. Everybody here at MSP Airport Live sends you a big welcome.
Crash 17, roger. 1476 Minneapolis Tower. At Charlie, cross runway 12 right.
Robbie Bautista says hello all. Well, hey Robbie, how you doing? Thank you for tuning into our broadcast today.
That's 849. Turn right, taxi via Papa and Delta to the gate, and just monitor ground point 9 as you go. Let them know if you need anything.
Well, it looks like we had the Minneapolis finest fire department is down there near the approach end of 12 right. Just on a precaution. They're picking up on the radio just as a precaution. Make sure that everything is safe for that aircraft.
Our traffic's about 4.5 miles final. They're a bit fast. So fly runway heading, runway 12 left, clear for takeoff.
Minneapolis Tower, jet 5.
377 Minneapolis Tower, runway
Around
17
right. We got the Sun Country hitting over to Los
Angeles. Traffic off the parallel.
It's flight 421, 737-800.
Charge about 6 miles final for your runway.
Minneapolis Tower, Captain 5.
Captain 12 Minneapolis Tower.
Captain 5. We are in position.
We talked earlier that next month JetBlue will be wrapping up their base, or they're flying out of Minneapolis. The last flight, which is sad to see. They've always been a welcoming sight.
Captain 5, roger.
But,
you're talking about the United emergency? I'm sorry, we have more than one.
They have decided that this market just is not working for them right now. I'm sure they will be back.
We're going to sound the alert. We got a United Airlines aircraft that is on the descent that I think we just heard them declare emergency. United 467 from Chicago O'Hare. 737-800 is the aircraft, November 14240.
Cross, Southwest 1780, ready to taxi. So 1788, runway 17. Sir, that will be a Delta, hold short whiskey. 17 Delta, hold short whiskey, Southwest 1788.
We've also got a departure happening on 12 right. They got to get moving because Southwest from Las Vegas is trucking behind them. This is Delta Flight 377 to Anchorage, Alaska. Needs a little extra real estate to get off the ground. 17 departures are very uncommon with this particular flight, with this particular aircraft. Now, if they're real extremely heavy, they'll be requesting runway 4/22.
Tower United 434, we're ready to go.
All right, here we go. Here's Delta off to Anchorage, Alaska with 737 900ER.
You can make the right turn on Kilo and hold short of Kilo 10. I'll call you back for it.
Kilo short of Kilo 10, United 434.
1119, when you're able to get them, well, how much longer do you think you'll have?
We're ready, Delta 1119.
1119, roger. You can taxi up to hold short, runway 17, you'll be next to go.
Taxi up to and hold short, runway 17 for Delta 1119.
Scale 3757, proceed on to runway 17.
Yeah, they're spacing them a little tight today. Southwest coming in. Delta is up and on its way to Anchorage.
Oh, they're heavy, all right.
Yes, they are.
Wow.
Papa and contact ground point 8 today.
And did I hear it mentioned we've got a United coming in with the situation?
Tower, traffic will hold in position, runway 12 left, clear land, wind is 1609.
Well, we did get that on the radio. And,
okay.
With 4262.
We do have an emergency vehicle standing on the approach end of 12 right.
Yeah, there's
just a precaution. So
there's a couple of them sitting out here. They're in two different places.
Yep.
They're kind of by the de-ice pad down there next to the 717, another aircraft that I can't tell what it is.
Okay, so So, okay, we'll push approved.
And if I've got the correct United flight pulled up on flight radar, that flight of in this approaching situation coming in here is just turned into final.
They're on a right base for final approach for runway 12 right. You can see the emergency vehicle standing by here for this emergency.
Personnel is loading waiting for you by the gate. Runway 12 right, clear to land, winds 1709, gust 17.
You know, during these situations, guys, you know, our training comes into effect. With all the training events that we do and all the simulated emergencies that we have in the simulators every year, when we do get into a situation,
3757 and
it all pays
off.
off. It's calm, it's working as a team, getting the checklist done, and working as a team with ATC and our dispatchers, and then
Delta 1471, I can get you going a little bit, so just be ready to taxi here in about 6 or 7 minutes.
10 and 12 past the hour time now is 03. 10 and 12, 03 now.
Folks, if you're just joining us, my name is Alex Redding, and I am joined by the one and only Captain Paul Hansen, Airbus A320 family captain, member of our on-air crew. He's been away for a while. It's great to have him back. Paul, thanks for helping me walk through the broadcast with our viewers and providing all the insight. It's been great. RJ, same with you as well. We also are joined by RJ Bean.
Oh, always glad to be here.
Always happy to have you.
It's great to be back, Alex. It's been a while. I've been out flying. So kind of seems if I'm not flying, I'm, you know, and I come home and you invite me to come down and spend a few hours watching the broadcast and helping out. It's certainly a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me back.
Always happy to have you. Greg Cowan, thank you so much for tuning in. Got a compliment for you, Paul.
Yes.
New to the channel, Captain Paul is awesome.
Oh,
well, thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Certainly appreciate that. It's a nice compliment.
27 Alaska, off the right on the runways, no factory. Come on here to tower 126.7. Alaska, no factory, 27.
All right, our United flight is on short final for runway 12 right.
Ground Delta 1036, we're ready taxi with. Delta 1036, runway 17. The Bravo, taxi on to 22.
That flight came in from Chicago. It's United Flight 467. It's a 737-800. Short final. They declared an emergency. We've got some vehicles standing by to assist them as needed. We're not quite sure yet what the situation is.
Nice job.
All right, we're down.
Cross 17, Minneapolis Tower on Whiskey, cross runway 22.
Minneapolis Tower 1017 on Whiskey, crossing 42.
So how they look, Paul?
You know what? From what I can tell, everything seems to be fine.
About 10 hours at Charlie,
it could be something internal fuel-related. Flaps don't look like they're having any issues. See what they end up saying here. In Minneapolis, air traffic has done a good job of keeping the spacing so that this aircraft in distress can take their time and get everything completed in a safe manner.
Captain 5, did you copy? They don't need assistance for that. 1476, turn left heading 140, runway 17, clear to take off.
So let's turn out to Delta.
Southwest 1788, Minneapolis Tower, runway 17 lap away. Square 74, Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 right, clear to land, wind is...
Yeah, I really can't tell what happened with that.
Clear to land, 13.
Seems all the emergency vehicles are heading on back to the clubhouse.
Runway 12 right, showing whiskey, hold short of whiskey 8.
We have some of the finest fire department paramedics in the country in Minneapolis because we have such a diverse change of weather from extreme snowstorms to hot summers, etc. So those crews have to be on their A game all the time, and they're very well trained. So we're very fortunate to have great crews up here in Minneapolis, as well as the cleaning crews that clean off the runways and the snow plows and all that. It's almost like a ballet. You know, if you sit here and watch it in the middle of the winter in a snowstorm, it is a precision ballet of snow plows.
Oh, just got confirmation it was a cracked window.
Oh, okay.
That's what the emergency was. There was a cracked window.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cockpit window? It didn't specify.
Did not hear any specifics. Of course, we were chatting while ATC was going, so there is a potential that we did miss that.
I've had a couple times where I've had windshields crack in flight, and the best thing to do is follow the procedures and get on the ground. These windows are very thick, but you use all precautions to make sure that it's a safe flight to get back.
Crash 14, Minneapolis Tower on Bravo, cross runway 422. $14.76. Turn left heading 120 if I didn't say that. I can contact departure today.
Good afternoon, Brian. Brian, one of our amazing YouTube members.
Hello, Brian.
Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday, buddy.
Southwest 1788, turn left heading 140, contact departure, good day. Yeah, 434, turn left heading 140.
Optimistic Mountain Landscape, thank you so much for tuning in to our broadcasts. Nice warm day at MSP. Here in southern Arizona, it's 104 degrees.
Wow.
Thank you.
Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 right, clear to land, wind is 15010.
Yeah, that's
too hot for
me. Here comes Sun Country in from Kansas City.
Yeah, you can keep that to yourself.
No kidding. Well, there will be a 100-degree temperature change in about 3 months between the two of us. So I remember leaving Minneapolis at 30 below and going down to Cancun and having it being around 98 degrees. And unfortunately,
2866, we're going to have you taxiing here in about 10
it was
minutes.
a quick turn and back up into the tundra. Oh, you see Marvin Windows is left signature and they're taxiing out for runway 17.
1471, runway 17 lap away. It's be about 90 seconds in position.
Be heading up to War Road, Minnesota, right up on the border.
Okay, 774, turn right, and what's your gate?
And turning right, I'd like to go to the hangars in Charlie.
Okay, Sun Country 8744, stay with me in that case. Taxi via Whiskey. Let's go Whiskey Charlie, short of Charlie 2, and I'll call you back.
Whiskey Charlie, short of Charlie 2, Sun Country 8774.
434, heading 140, contact departure.
This aircraft is 713 Sierra Yankee. It's the only Sun Country 737 in the fleet without winglets.
607 taxi. 607, taxi via Delta Whiskey, cross runway 4. Delta Whiskey, cross 4, Sun Country 607.
Getting a little bit of a conga line going down there for departures on 17. Playing follow the leader.
Latest update at Minneapolis is 160. The winds are 160 with 8. It's 84 degrees. And clear in a million. Not a cloud in the sky.
The blue skies. We also got plenty of tailwinds, too. It's a little bit gusty today, but that's great because it's cooling us down here high atop Terminal 1.
Absolutely.
Ground at 2205, ready to taxi with...
Brian, I'm having a pretty good Thursday so far. Thanks for asking.
Delta Bob across 2 Cork for...
I know the start to our broadcast this afternoon 2 times had been a real doozy just because we had some hardware issues.
1471, turn left heading 140, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
Takeoff 140 Delta.
Envoy 3527, runway 17, line up away.
Runway 17, line up away. 35.
November 680, Mike Whiskey, Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 right, line up and wave.
Line up and wave, 1 right.
12 right, departure. It's Delta 1613 heading down to Kansas City.
Looks like it's coming in.
Oh, you are right. I had my head down looking at the radar and caught me off guard. Thank you, Alex.
You bet.
36, I have both frequencies, so the one you're on is fine, but yeah, 2367.
Yes, as it was slowing down, it could have been a rejected
1613, contact
takeoff
ground
as well, but thanks for keeping me honest out here.
1471, contact departure, good day.
So as we've been talking about how gorgeous our weather is here today, I was watching the news last night on our NBC affiliate here in the Twin Cities, which is KARE. They noted that this has been the warmest September, an average of 70.3. Of course, a lot of days it's been warmer than that.
That it has.
And we've had a lot of sunny days.
Oh my goodness, yes we have.
They noted that too.
Charlie, Delta, Kilo 3.
On the departure right now, we got a Beach 1900 belonging to Marvin Windows of War Road, Minnesota. Taking their cruise back and forth for the window manufacturer.
1036, Charlie 17, lap away.
Yes, so September 104 is just up again, schedule 1 right.
September 104, Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 right, quarter land, winds 1607.
1 right, quarter land, September 104, thanks.
Have either of you been to War Road before?
No, I
say that I have.
Oh, you. One yes, one no.
I spent a year of my life one night in the middle of the winter up there. It's a cold, cold place.
90, contact departure, good day.
Well, when I get up there to hit the state parks for my hiking club trails, that'll be the first time that I get up into that part of the state.
Oh, it is beautiful. It is a beautiful... Minnesota is a very beautiful state with lots of options for things, from obviously for your hiking club to mountain biking, skiing, snowmobiling. Alex's favorite of ice fishing, right?
I've actually not been ice fishing before.
Oh my goodness.
48, runway 17, lap away.
Well, we're going to have to get you out. You have missed out. I am sure we have some people that love to ice fish who are watching our broadcast today. And I'm sure they are just waiting with bated breath for the ice to appear here in a few months.
And the colors are starting to pop us a little bit too, especially up in the northernmost part of the state. It hasn't quite gotten to us down here yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, I was just up in Two Harbors, north of Duluth, and we just got home on Monday afternoon. Colors haven't started per se, but north of us, Grand Marais and up in that area near the Canadian, they're starting to pop. They're still in the early stages, so if you are looking to make that venture north to check out the foliage, there's still plenty of time.
1251, runway 17, lap away, traffic going across downfield.
I know, I'm hoping to do one more little state park hiking club trail road trip and hit up the parks down in the southeast part of the state and Can make my way back north through Winona and up along the Mississippi on Highway 61 because that's always such a gorgeous drive.
That's one of those gems that not a lot of people take in there.
You have to know it's there, like a true Minnesotan would.
That you do. Out of runway 17, we've got Southwest flight 2848 heading over to Denver.
8774 Kilo 3 across runway 17, join the Lima traffic.
We got a Tide Pod on about to touch down too, don't we?
We do. We just came in from Las Vegas at Sun Country 104.
Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 clear to land, wind 16010. 2848, turn right heading 215, contact departure, good day.
Well, if you're just joining us, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Captain Paul Hansen, joining us with Alex. RJ.
Hey, along for the ride.
Winds today are 160 at 11. It's 82 lovely degrees in Minneapolis. We had Lufthansa take off about 25 minutes ago over Frankfurt. 787 Dreamliner. And we had a United flight that came in from Chicago that declared an emergency, and Alex found out was that they had a windshield issue that one of the outer pane most likely had shattered.
Come out at Whiskey 6, please.
And they made it safely in. Our finest first responders were waiting for them in the event they needed a little assistance, but everything turned out just perfect.
This is Oscar. Use caution. There's a 7-1 parking at your tail. Let them move.
For September 26th, it's 82 degrees. We're certainly blessed with having a summer that's extending a little longer than normal.
Well, we're certainly going to take it while we can get it.
You bet we will.
Minneapolis meter and ground. Pushback approved.
A little bit of movement over on the corporate ramp of Signature Flight Services. It's located on the southeast corner of the Minneapolis International Airport.
Whiskey 5, please, and then give way to the traffic coming out of Whiskey 6. There shouldn't be a packet, but Whiskey 5 straight in with me and the biz jet.
When I flew corporate and I'd go to Signature, one of my first things, they've got the greatest chocolate chip cookies. So it was kind of fun when you had to go into Signature, you had something to look forward to. Were warm chocolate chip cookies on a cold winter day. I don't need cookies, but I took full advantage of that.
Oh, I thought maybe Sweet Martha's would have taken that title up from the state fair.
You know, I would have loved to have Sweet Martha's. You know, the funny thing is, Sweet Martha was my 5th grade art teacher when I went to school down in Cedar Elementary in Eagan, Minnesota. And I'll tell you what, she's making more money than she did teaching, and that's not a problem. They say that she does roughly about $5.5 million in sales in cookies on the 12-day Minnesota State Fair located in Minnesota, just a little bit north of us. And it's 12 days of food, music, and great people watching, right?
I know all about it. I've worked it the last 2 years. Scanned a few thousand tickets.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of the food is on a stick, and it's deep fried. And calories don't count during that 12-day window, they say.
Yeah, calorie-free.
It's calorie-free zone. Kind of like a safe zone.
Yep, and everybody's carrying around their Sweet Martha's buckets of cookies, and then they go over to where you can get the unlimited milk, and then people are dipping the cookies into their milk.
Absolutely.
For me, it's the mouthtrap cheese curds.
Oh, in the food building.
Yes, those are fantastic.
Oh, yeah. You got to have a food list when you do the state fair.
So I asked my buddy that went to the state fair on Labor Day, final day of the fair, And I asked him, hey, well, since I'm stuck at work, do you think you'd be able to, if I pay you later, do you think you could scoop up a whole tub of mouth-trap cheese curds for me? And he's like, yeah, I'm picking up a few tubs of Sweet Martha's. I could swing over to the food building and get you some cheese curds. And
so did he have to get a re-entry stamp at a gate to bring everything to his car?
No, he just went around the fair, did a food run, and went home.
Oh, that's fantastic. If you're not used to, if you don't know anything about our state fair, cheese curds are like caviar to us here in the Midwest. So if you're living elsewhere in the country or outside of in other parts of the world, deep fried cheese curds, I promise you, will certainly make you smile. Yeah, I did buy a bucket of cookies the first year my daughter moved away to college, and I shipped them overnight to Texas, to Waco, because she was going to miss out on the state fair. Unfortunately, they didn't taste the same. But the thought that counted, and the $25 I paid for the bucket of cookies, and then the shipping to go over there.
I know when I got mine, I was around some people who were going to get an extra bucket or two because they were sending them off to someone. And I thought, yeah, can you imagine how much they would be making off of all of this if they had some stores and shops around here in the Twin Cities, and we could get them year-round except for just, with the 12 days?
Well, you can. They do have frozen dough.
That's not the same.
Well,
because you're not at the fair.
The problem is that I ate the whole bag of dough by the time I get to my house. So
that takes all the fun out of it. Well yeah, the dough's the best part.
I have issues. Now,
we all have issues.
That's for another broadcast. We'll talk about my issues on another broadcast. If you're just joining us, welcome. Minneapolis ATC Airport live, coming to you from Minneapolis International Airport. Weather is fantastic, 82 degrees, winds 160 at 11. Runways today, 12 left, 12 right, 17. We've had kind of an interesting day so far. Lufthansa departed about 30 minutes ago on their way to Frankfurt on a 787 Dreamliner. We had a United flight coming in from Chicago.
O'Hare,
yep. And they had a windshield issue, and they had emergency landing, and our finest were there for assistance if needed. Just had a Delta Flight 2212 A321. My choice of aircraft that I fly just came in from Fort Lauderdale. I'm a big fan of the 321 as a pilot.
Well, as an Airbus captain, I would think you should be.
Well, I am. I've flown Boeings and the Airbus, and I like the Airbus.
A little bit of everything. Just
that tray table is perfect for putting your cookies on.
Here we go with the cookies again.
So next year, come up to Minneapolis. If you're not from the area, come on up for the Minnesota State Fair. And you land here at MSP, you get on the train, I think you probably transfer a few times, get to the fairgrounds, and you could spend 12, 15, 16 hours roaming around.
Actually, you may have to probably find some other transportation. The fairgrounds is actually kind of between downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul,
right,
to the north. So if you were to try to somehow utilize like light rail from here, it would still be a bit of a hike.
Yeah, you do the light rail from the airport down to MSP, transfer, take the one that goes University all the way to Snelling Avenue, and then get on the bus.
Oh, that's right. You can do
and take you right to the front gate.
Yeah, I should have known that, because the gate that I've been working at the last 2 years, there are times where when we're standing, inside and we're scanning tickets, we can't even see Snelling.
No,
because there's so many people out there lined up waiting to get in, whether they're buying tickets or just because the line going through the security check gets backed up.
Absolutely. Over on 17, we've got a NetJets heading down to Cincinnati. Parting out of 17 and then coming in on the right side here. We have Southwest coming in Baltimore. Landing on the 12 right. Runways today, 12 left, 30 right, back open. Limited usage, though. The heavies are not allowed to come on in on those runways, so we're seeing them come in on 12 right, 30 left, and then a lot of usage out of 17s. I have never landed on 17. I've taken off on 17, but never landed on 17. Land on runway 4. Runway 4 gets utilized occasionally by the heavies when they're very heavy, heading over to Asia, Europe, etc.
Well, actually, since it's been a while since you've been here to join us during the time when the North Parallel runway was closed due to the work that they were doing, they were coming in on 3-5.
Oh, yes. I'll tell you, boy, did that really keep things boogered up. When I would come home from Chicago, because there was so much traffic coming in and limited runway, we would sit for 40 minutes on a taxiway waiting to take off. And it was frustrating, but I totally understand it. And thanks to the wonderful people that made it happen, got that runway back open. Makes life a little bit easier for everybody.
So when the North Parallel runway just reopened here, was it this last weekend? Was that the schedule for it to reopen, or did it open maybe a little bit early, or?
I don't know. Alex, what have you heard?
So the North Parallel actually opened in the middle of our last broadcast, our touch and go short live plane spotting premiere on the 21st of this month. And when we started, we were up here at Terminal 1, Red 8, as we are now. And they were on the 12s, but a cold front moved through that shifted all of the airport ops around to the 30s.
Alex, I get to do a salute.
We need to have a graphic for that or something.
That's my girl. That's an NW tail.
2716, taxi Alpha, monitor 0.9. Good day.
Alpha will monitor on 0.9, Delta 2716.
Oh, we got the question. I really didn't know that. How long have you been a pilot for? Well, I started flying in 1991. I was 6 years old. No. No. I started in 1991 flying, and still at it. Still at it. Thanks for asking that question, Elliot.
Start via Bravo, hold short of the construction. I'll call you back there.
Okay, once you left the ice pad, Bravo started the construction.
And Daniel Swanson is telling us that tomorrow, Sun Country Flight 8600 going to Ypsilanti, and the Gophers are heading over to play Michigan tomorrow on Sun Country.
Yeah, they play. I think that's a nationally televised game.
Is it
Saturday?
really?
Yep.
Wonderful.
I think. Of course, now there's some new teams that have joined the Big Ten.
Oh my goodness!
Again.
Yes, there has. We're big Baylor fans, and the Big 12 is getting more and more teams every year. Just approaching the landing here, 1-2 right. We got Delta 2983 just coming in from DCA. It's a 320.
It's another salute.
It is.
Here I go. That's my ritual. Every time I see an NW tail.
Oh, sure.
Oh, you betcha. Because when the aircraft was originally delivered, it was to Northwest.
Yes. If you come to Minneapolis, RJ can tell you about the wonderful museum of the rich history of Northwest Airlines and the airlines prior to that brought it into Northwest. Just a very short way from our airport. You could take an Uber over there.
Yeah, you could take the Blue Line.
You could take the Blue Line train over there.
Yep, right from here. There's a stop right outside there on the little street.
Yeah.
Just get off and walk across into the hotel, and if you come in through the front of the hotel, you might need to get a little bit of assistance from somebody at the front desk to get you on an elevator so it'll stop on the 3rd floor.
Sure.
The other option is, if you're able to drive, is to park on the very topmost of the level of the parking ramp and come into the hotel. You're going to walk by the pool on your right, and as you get around to the other end of the pool, you're going to see a set of stairs that goes up, and you take those stairs all the way up, and then you're going to be on the left.
Wonderful. That's at the Crown Plaza, located in Bloomington, Minnesota, just a short distance from Minneapolis International, St. Paul. Got a flight taking off on 17. It's Delta Flight 2732, heading over to LaGuardia. That's where I will be going on Saturday. I wish I was going to stay in Myrtle Beach. It'll be Chicago to Myrtle Beach, Myrtle Beach to LaGuardia. Like I said earlier today, that the beautiful thing about LaGuardia on a beautiful day is if they give you the visual landing to the south, give you a visual, fly to the Verrazano Bridge, fly up the river past the Statue of Liberty in the city of New York, Central Park, all that. It's absolutely gorgeous. To keep us about 4,000 feet. Take us up to the Washington Bridge, hang a right, then another right. And then they clear you to land in LaGuardia.
So when they give you these commands for the turns, do they, are there traffic lights out there?
No.
Okay, hope not.
No, there's not. And the beautiful thing about, we park at the MAT terminal, which is the Marine Air Terminal. That was a Pan Am terminal for the flying boats back initially. A lot of great history in New York with aviation. So kind of an honor to be parking at the MAT terminal. It's located on the west side of the airport, southwest side of the airport, LaGuardia. Beautiful day. 1-2 right, 1-2 left, 1-7 of the runways here in Minneapolis. 160 at 11. And it is a lovely 82 degrees, 28 degrees centigrade, and it is a bluebird day.
Wind 14010, turn left heading 120, runway 17. Good takeoff.
All right, and clear for takeoff runway.
So that A321 that you were just focused in on is headed to Boston.
Oh, it is, okay.
There it is.
Yeah, there it goes.
Out to flight 29, here was it 2591.
Okay, spot number 1.
Actually, it's so bright, I'm having trouble seeing the screen on my phone.
I know, that's why I had to take my sunglasses off.
to monitor my flight radar information. But then I like to have the shades on because it helps me see everything.
Yes, of course.
It's so bright, and with all the glare, we've got these couple of A330s sitting out here at G9 and G11, and the sun is reflecting off of them.
I know. Well,
speaking of A330s, we've gotten up to 152, starting up in frame, headed off to Paris Charles de Gaulle, the A330-900neo.
Beautiful.
Oh, there we go.
What do you say we get to a spotter guide?
Yeah, we haven't done one.
A330-900neo.
Perfect. Great idea.
Want to make sure everything is set here before we do so. All right, let's do it. All right, time to take a look at our spotter guide on the A330neo, presented in part by DG Pilot, one of our amazing sponsors here at MSP Airport Live. You can see the statistics on the left side of your screen. This is a super impressive aircraft. It under-delivered on the range that Airbus had promised, but these are very cool aircraft nonetheless. And they are giants of the skies, just under 220 feet long. And they have a wingspan of 210 feet right down to the inch. The A330neos are powered by a pair of Rolls-Royce Trent 7000 engines, which are exclusive to the type. And it has a cruising speed of 537 miles an hour with a range just under 7,000 miles.
I think if you're going to go for a ride that long, you want to be in an aircraft that size.
I think so too.
I've done small aircraft, corporate aircraft over to Wose at Le Bourget, which is right next to De Gaulle. It's a long ride.
Taxi via Whiskey Cross, runway 4.
Butt shot! Got a little puff of smoke from the APU generator out the back. That's what that was. You could say the Delta 152 Heavy was passing gas.
09, only 12 left, put away.
All right, I'll shut up.
Over on 17, we got Sun Country 295, and they're heading over to Portland for a nice, joyous, beautiful ride. Like I said, for September, it's a bit enjoyable to have this kind of weather of 82 degrees or shorts and flip-flop weather for us Minnesotans. Still.
I thought that was year-round.
Well, it can be. For me, it is.
There are people out there that still wear shorts when it's really cold in the winter, and they never wear pants.
No. We've got United 732 coming in from Denver, Colorado, landing on 12 right this afternoon.
Okay, 295, turn right heading 215, contact
Winds
departure.
160 at 11, 82 lovely degrees at Bluebird skies.
So, Captain Paul, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So when the weather is this clear and this nice, like it is today, does it have an effect on when you're running and operating a flight as far as it being smoother and less turbulence?
Sometimes it can be a little bit on the bumpy side, but the nice thing about days like this is that your airports are not being backed up with traffic. You're not having to have aircraft being vectored on 30-mile finals. We can take a visual. We can have the airport environment in sight, shorten up the landing spacing from 30 miles, maybe 10 miles out. They might say we got the runway in sight, clear you to land, and so it kind of makes it nice. But the one thing, in these beautiful days, we have a lot of general aviation traffic that are flying around too. So we kind of take it for granted. So you have to keep your head on a swivel in areas that have a lot of general aviation traffic. Here in the Minneapolis area, you have Crystal and Flying Cloud, St. Paul and South St. Paul, and Anoka Airport. So there's a lot of general aviation training going on there with a lot of future pilots.
So, say, what about when you're up at higher altitudes, as far as, does it have an effect on turbulence?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. It can be nice and smooth.
That's kind of what I wondered. And speaking of local airports, I don't live too awfully far from Lake Elmo.
Oh, that's right. I forget about that one.
And I do from time to time, of course, get, smaller aircraft flying around, probably out of that airport, getting some touch and goes in and takeoffs, landings.
Well, it's a busy training airport as well for a lot of people, and a lot of new pilots are coming through the system.
All right.
Speaking of takeoffs, we got 152, which has been given clearance to motor down 12 right for Paris.
Here they come. Go for throttle up.
2243, turn right, join Papa, what's the gate? 2243, taxi Papa Delta, monitor .9.
Jeremy Sears says, I like the wingtip flex as they take off. Rate of rotation. I couldn't agree with you more. You know, all these years of flying, I love watching the heavies take off and land. It's just amazing to see the amount of weight those wings are taking. It's a beautiful sight to see.
For my dad's time frame, it was even bigger.
Right.
4366 Minneapolis meter and ground. Runway 12 left, activity and pop up, cross runway 4.
When I come out here to the History Center on Thursdays, I get excited and feel good when I'm coming across the bridge over here, 494, and I can start to see the old big hangar down there and see sometimes the flights are coming in on 30 left because I'm driving and I feel like I'm racing a little bit, but of course I never win. And I get excited because this is my dad's runway.
Sure.
And then, of course, as I know I've said before, I was even more pumped up the day I flew to Denver because, as I was saying, now it's my turn.
Right.
Look at all the dust getting kicked up over there on 17. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I'm just looking at that right now.
So are they working over there?
I don't know what's going on over there. It has been very dry recently.
Are they mowing?
Well, they could be mowing. I'm trying to get a good eye here with binoculars.
Zulu Bravo, contact departure. We'll see. What departure? Treasure well.
No, they're not mowing.
I don't know.
You know, where it's coming from is behind the FedEx building.
Short of runway 12 right.
On short final, we have a Delta Airlines flight 1567 from St. Louis this afternoon. 717, 200.
Calling, but I heard Skyway 3922, Minneapolis meter and ground, push approved, runway 12 left, 0.9er for taxi. Well, halt. So 1505, Minneapolis meter and ground, push approved, runway 17, 0.9er for taxi.
Left off ground 49.
Like we said earlier, if you're just joining us, welcome to Minneapolis Airport Live. We are so glad you joined us today. Runways today, 12 right, 12 left, and 17. Winds right now, 160 at 11. It's 82 lovely degrees and clear and a cajillion.
Who's on final?
Coming up on final.
Delta 1669, Minneapolis ground, taxi via Alpha.
They're all set. It's still going to be a minute, but I want to throw you in front of these arches. So join Papa to 12 left. It'll still be about 2 more minutes.
Got the A squad with you today with Alex, RJ. I'm following in last place. Captain
That's
Paul.
a UPS MD-11.
Endeavor 52, monitor tower now 126.7.
Louisville. Used to have a neighbor called it Louisville because they were from there.
You know, the one thing I think is kind of interesting is how airport codes happen. Coming in from Louisville, flight 2560.
Yep, and in case you did miss the announcement, arrived this hour from Louisville, Kentucky, UPS 2560 Heavy. About to touch down on runway 12 right.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Butter.
heavy 2-leg turn, taxi whiskey, runway 22, and Tango, monitor point 9.
Okay, 2-right turn, whiskey, Tango, and then I'll monitor point 9 every day.
Dispatch 560, heavy whiskey, runway 22, and then Tango.
Whiskey, runway 22, and then Tango, you do 25.
Call her a cousin to the DC-10.
Minneapolis ground, Sun Country 107.
More butt shots.
63107 due to some closures. This will be runway 17, taxi via Delta Whiskey, cross runway 4.
We're going over to the UPS terminal just behind the aircraft viewing area in between 17 and 12 right. We take a taxiway Tango up to their ramp.
4523, runway 17.
They got to traverse the airfield first.
Charlie 6, cross runway 4.
But the way the winds are getting, we're getting that exhaust off that MD-11 up here.
Well, we do sell coffee cups that say, I love the smell of jet fuel in the morning. We do have them.
I bet you do. And I'm sure they sell very well.
Runway 17, taxi via Quebec, cross runway 4, light, hold short of runway 12 right.
5252 Minneapolis Tower, Mike, cross runway 12 right, and showing whiskey.
Sun Country 107, monitor tower now 126.7.
26.7, Sun Country 107.
Kind of a little lull in the action. Start kicking up here again in a few minutes.
Country 285, Minneapolis, meter and ground, push approved, runway 12 right, point 9 for taxi.
I know the folks at the viewing area are very happy right now. We got a taxi on Mike happening.
Oh, yes, they are happy.
Delta 1028, thanks, runway 17, taxi via Alpha, Charlie, hold short of runway 12 right.
Runway 17 via Alpha, Charlie.
I don't know if it was during one of the live streams, but I know I was over there one time, and there was one that went by like this over there. I don't know if it was a UPS or a FedEx, and we were all waving at them, and they, first officer, they waved right back. They didn't waste any time because they saw us over there loud and clear.
Of course.
So that was cool.
Monitor tower now on 126.7. Have a happy Thursday.
2591, thanks for the wait. Contact departure. We'll see you. That's 4266, wind 1509, turn left heading 100, once you left, quick signal.
Minneapolis is back up in operation with the North Runways back in operation to an extent. Got an Endeavor SkyWest flight going up to International Falls. A CRJ 700 series today.
Monitor tower now 126.7. Good day. Delta 1028, also monitor tower now 126.7.
Just passing by us is Delta 1028. Getting ready to head down to Atlanta. How many flights do they have to Atlanta a day, guys?
Oh, I'm sure between the two hubs, there's quite a few. I know when I was in Tampa, Delta flies pretty much hourly flights both ways.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Because it's a big hub for people to get to connect to other flights. And hopefully everything goes okay down there starting later tonight and into tomorrow because of the weather.
Yeah, they probably won't be back open until tomorrow at some point.
I'm talking about Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay, yeah, and Atlanta's going to have some delays because of that weather moving up.
4266, heading 100, contact departure.
Guess what that is, RJ?
That's my home away from home. That's the Crown Plaza Air Hotel, home of the NWA History Center.
Yeah, it most certainly is. MSP Airport Live is proud to promote the Northwest Airlines History Center. For more information, visit them online at northwestairlineshistory.org to learn more about the Northwest Airlines story and the people who knew how to fly.
My dad and my uncle were two of them.
Miss anybody?
They also have some fantastic merch. Please consider checking out their website. They really have some awesome merch. Now, RJ, if you want to, for just a split second, go ahead and reach into my backpack there and take out the amazing bag tag. Thank you so much for this. They actually sell these at the History Center. It's a gift from RJ.
1605 Minneapolis, Mike, cross 21 right, showing whiskey.
And
Cross to your right, Mike, join whiskey.
They don't stay long either because people buy them like crazy.
I bet they do.
We happen to have some right now, but I'm sure by the time I'm there next week, they'll be gone.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm going to have to swing over there and get one of these days.
yep, so here it is. And go ahead and get your Northwest Airlines bag tags and keychain tags. They also have a keychain tag that I have. In addition to this, they also have Delta keychain and bag tags. So these are really high quality.
So I'm not sure if those items are available on our website, but we do have them over at the museum.
And what days are they open?
Our hours are 11 to 5, Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. It's also kind of based on, those of us that volunteer over there, because sometimes we have things, other things going on, and we can't get out here, but there are people involved over there that are former Northwest employees.
I bet. Well, keeping the history alive. Thanks for all you do, and to your and the staff over there. If you've got any time here in Minneapolis International Airport, and you can take the train straight from here, just a short ride over to the hotel, and walk in and spend some time there. Why go to the Mall of America when you can go to the Northwest Airlines History Center?
And
that's just my thought.
My hat, my cap, my Stratocruiser cap, we do have those for sale over there.
All the classics. All the classics.
I'm going to get a close-up of that cap.
Look at that.
Isn't that thing cool?
It's very cool.
Right, let's see the backside of the cap here.
4523, wind 1409, turn left heading 120, runway 17.
And then on the side, established 1926.
I see you've also added some bling to it as well.
Yeah, I have a little red tail pin.
Yeah, a little flare.
Of course, I have a red tail on my car, too.
Right.
My car, NWA 757, because that's the way it can drive. It's a Honda Redline engine under the hood of my car.
Oh, that is good. Southwest just pulling up from Midway. Flight 2847.
Shuttle 6124, Mile Tower, traffic 2 mile final, wind 1409, runway direct, by the way. Shuttle 6124, traffic will be crossing
Speaking of
right
Chicago,
to
Mr.
left.
Paul, again, do you fly out of one or the other, or both?
I only fly out of O'Hare.
Okay.
When you're a new pilot and you go into these big airports like Kennedy and LaGuardia and Los Angeles, Atlanta, Chicago, it's very intimidating.
Oh, I bet it is.
And then once you go there enough, and after 30 years of flying, it's old school. You know what they're going to tell you to do. You know where you need to go. And Chicago does a fantastic job of directing traffic, dealing with the amount of traffic, and then also when we do have some weather, whether it's snow, etc., you really do a good job of keeping the airport, taxiways and runways clean and safe.
Just like here.
Absolutely.
And point 9 please for taxi.
And we saw that today with the trucks that came out, the emergency vehicles, when we had that United flight coming in from Chicago here. They had a broken windshield. We've got a 319, flight 2700 coming in from Philadelphia, landing on 12 right just now.
AKA the dump truck.
Yes. The short bus.
1323, turn left heading 070.
Traffic starting to pick up a little bit here at Minneapolis International Airport. You joined us from Minneapolis Airport Live.
Left turn Alpha.
Runways today are the 12s. 12 left, 12 right. Also runway 17 for departure. It's been a beautiful day, 82 degrees. Winds are 160 and 8. We've seen some flights to Frankfurt, Paris de Gaulle. Right down by us, we've got a Boston flight. Just came in.
Please join Bravo again.
As you get way to the Airbus, join Alpha past construction back to Bravo, Delta 1127.
We've got a Tide Pod Sun Country off in the distance.
Papa, cross runway 4, Mike, hold short of runway 12 right.
And that flight
Across 4, Mike, short 1
is Sun Country 285 going to Seattle tonight. I was at a seminar in Denver last week. Got to spend some time with some Southwest and Sun Country pilots, as well as Delta, and all the airlines were there. It's always nice to get different perspectives of flying for different carriers. Just coming up here on short final, we've got United Express, operated by Mesa 6124, coming in from Houston. E175.
Engine 32 minutes, Charlie 6, cross my clock 2.
I'm going to be taking United down to Belize City in a couple of weeks, next month. And then hopping on a caravan and going out to a little outskirt island outside of Belize City.
We made a stop there once on one of our cruises. It was a long, tender ride in because
yes. They operate with intercountry with caravans. And one time I met the owner of one of the airlines down there, and I said, how many flights a day do your pilots do? And they said anywhere between 17 and 18 flights a day per pilot.
Because they're so short?
They're like 15, 20 legs, 20-minute legs.
Skywest 3757, give what the Airbus set you down.
That's what keeps the infrastructure of that country going.
Runway heading 12 right.
You got Sun Country.
Sun Country. Oh, sorry, Paul.
No, go.
Go for it.
I'm talking all the time.
Oh, we're going to get a Sun Country departure?
Yep, Sun Country 285 to SeaTac, Seattle Tacoma International
that's the SeaTac.
Airport.
Okay.
Ground is the 737-8.
Gulf 17, Delta 1379, Minneapolis ground taxi via Papa, Charlie, Bravo. On Bravo, hold short of this tunnel.
All right, here we go. Sun Country off to SeaTac.
Tower Delta 2981, visual 12 right.
981, Minneapolis, 2 mile final, 15008, wrong 12 right, clear line.
And 0.9 for taxi. United 2372, I missed it, you said this is Papa.
Turn left heading 100, contact departure.
Off across from us, we've got Signature Flight Service.
349, turn right, at the ground.
Across the runway, just south of 12. Right, 30 left. Corporate aircraft over there. Get some.
Delta 10 Heavy is about to push back to London Heathrow with the A330-200 Paul right in front of us here at Gulf 11.
Oh, I love
right now
it.
in view.
Delta 2349, Minneapolis ground. What's the gate? I'm sorry.
Where did Charlie go?
X7, Delta 2349, taxi via Papa.
Charlie's going to be a Papa.
Where are you going from there?
Vegas just landed on 12 right. Delta 2262. 737-900.
Delta 1630 minutes, start Mike Cross, one direction, right away.
I'm fine, you're right.
Turn left, at the ground front center.
Delta 2262, left turn, ground 49. Tower Delta 2877, big.
Square foot 160 minutes, start 6 for final 1150, 9 and 112 left, settle in. 2877 minutes, start 2 mile final 1150, 9 and 112 right, settle in.
12 right, clear to land, Delta 2877.
If you're just joining us, welcome. Minneapolis Airport live, coming from Minneapolis International Airport. Terminal 1 is our viewing port today. 82 degrees, clear skies. It's a beautiful day. London Heathrow is pushing back right in front of us here shortly. Jet bridge has been pulled.
Tower Delta 165 heavy inside Dusty, Golf 11.
Delta 65 heavy minutes, start 4 mile final 1150, 9 and 112 right, settle in.
12 right, clear to land, Delta 165 heavy.
And we've got a Delta 2981, 757, 300 coming in on 2 right, coming in from Atlanta. Another Atlanta flight. We were talking earlier how many flights a day happen between Minneapolis and Atlanta and vice versa. I would probably guess that maybe over 30.
Salute mode. Yes!
A Northwest, former Northwest Airlines aircraft.
AKA the Flying Pencil.
That's right.
After the tunnel and construction,
With those
rejoin Bravo.
big engines.
Yes.
Over to Alpha.
And you know it when you're on one of them because when you rotate, you're like,
Yeah, you
They're
really
built to
are.
climb.
They
Quick.
really are.
10 heavy, Minneapolis, meter and ground, hold the push, I'll call you back. This is Papa.
of course, I'm standing here focused on our flight to London. It's just like, I'm just staring at her. I can't get enough of her.
I know, right?
No.
Golf 20.
20 taxi in, Delta 2981.
2981 taxi to Golf 20, Delta.
Jazz 720, Minneapolis, meter ground, verify United, push near your tail, push is your discretion after they leave. Runway 12 left, and point 9 for taxi, this is Papa.
Flight 2877 coming in from Denver, just landed on 12 right. Airbus 321. Just taking a view, there it is.
Delta 10 Heavy, I have an Airbus back in your tail now, it's an A319 after them, the pushback approved, runway 12 right.
After 319, mission approved, 20 right, Delta 10 Heavy.
37 minutes, start Mike Cross, 112 right, run away.
Mike Cross, 12 right, right turn with you, 3757.
Unusually warm weather for us here in Minnesota. It's 82 degrees, bluebird skies clear and a million.
Delta 2077, Minneapolis ground, taxi via Alpha.
Winds are 160 at 8.
Oh, here we go. Pushback, flight 10.
There it goes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Meanwhile, the Amsterdam flight, 165, landing on 12 right, short final right now.
12 right, clear to land and 135 miles an hour.
Oh, now my salutes are getting fast and furious.
There's Delta flight, 165 from Amsterdam, just landed on a 12 right. Beautiful sight. A330.
Here goes another one. This is the way I like it. Lots of salutes, lots of NW tails.
2077, if you'd like, you may cut the corner to Delta.
Traffic 6 miles south of Airbus, Southwest Suburban, flying 1607 on one direct line.
12 right.
Southwest 472 Minneapolis, meteor ground push approved. Runway 17 it is, that's fine. And it'll be Davis Papa, 0.9er for taxi.
And once again, the wind is blowing just in the right direction.
165 Heavy Minneapolis ground. Join Alpha and hold. Your feet's just pushing down. As soon as that heavy leaves, I'll get you right in.
Take the Alpha and wall.
So 941 Minneapolis, 2 miles final, 11509, and 117.
0.9er for taxi.
Right in front of our viewing port, we have Delta 10, London Heathrow, 330. Behind it is the flight from Amsterdam, just rolled in as well. We're waiting for the Heathrow flight to get moving on the taxiway.
Delta 10 Heavy's on the right.
Runway 4.
And our flight from Amsterdam, I believe that's 165, Paul. It's on the left. So the A330-300.
So could they be waiting for that gate?
I think I know what they're waiting on here. I want to say
I think they may be
they
going
were
into
waiting
Gulf
on
11.
this 737 that just arrived to get out the way.
Oh, it was? Okay. I thought they were going to go into Gulf 11.
Well, I thought you were talking about Delta 10, sorry. Here's Delta 10. This is off to London Heathrow. There's only 11 A330-200s in the Delta fleet, by the way. So they're a common occurrence here at MSP International, but I don't know wherever your neck of the woods is, if you're outside the Twin Cities. Probably not too common. These aircraft are not too common outside of Delta's larger hubs. Atlanta, here, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Detroit Metro. Looks like we had a UPS A300 sneak up on us.
Yeah, they came in from Rockford, Chicago area. So UPS 5556.
Delta 10 Heavy, runway 12 right, taxi via Alpha, soft runway 4. Delta 10 Heavy, I'll just have you continue via Alpha.
Tail rudder check.
Yep, and there goes Delta 10 Heavy, taxiing out. Right in front of us right now, then followed ahead of them will be the aircraft that came in from Amsterdam.
36 Heavy, turn left on 22 now. Left on 22 or Tango.
Southwest 472, runway 17, taxi via Delta Whiskey, cross runway 4.
Whiskey, cross 4.
That flight in our view is the Phoenix to Minneapolis Delta 2274, 737 900 series. Coming in from Phoenix. We saw that Phoenix was what, Alex, 108 today?
Yeah, I know, right?
Too hot.
Isn't that too hot?
Now, is that in the shade or not?
I bet it would be.
Does that include humidity?
No, it's just bare bones 108.
Papa cross runway 4, Mike, short of 12 right, 37
Delta 2274, give would be exiting 73.
All right, there's a flight that just came in from Amsterdam.
941,
Pulling in here, Gulf 11, the gate. The London Heathrow flight just pushed back. And Amsterdam, no, it looks like it's going to Gulf 12. My bad. The London Heathrow pushed back. Amsterdam came in just a little bit early. Gates available.
Oh, she's lining up for gate 11.
They are. Yep, they are. It's the offset center line. Ocean X Studios. Hey, y'all. Hi to you. Thanks for joining us at Minneapolis Airport Live today. 82 degrees here in Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport.
So if I was down there inside at the gate, I'd be watching them to make sure they are coming right in on the line.
Yeah, you know, a lot of airports are going into light signals and less personnel. So in Europe, it's very common where you'll taxi in, you'll follow the center line. It'll tell you if you're too fast, if you're left or right of center line. They give you the directions right into the gate.
Oh, okay. So that's just interesting.
Yeah, here's Delta Flight 413 coming in from Los Angeles.
So we're giving people a good education today.
Yeah, maybe. It's an Airbus 321 just landed from Los Angeles.
36 push approved from a 17 and it'll be 0.9 for taxi.
You're being joined by RJ Alex and I'm Captain Paul. Welcome.
95120 check transfer off
From Terminal 1 viewing point.
We're at Terminal 1, Red 8.
So if we want to give out that location a little bit more specific to help our viewers, we are in the red parking ramp on the 8th level, and where you are overlooking the G concourse. How about that?
Well, now my wife can find me. Thank you, guys.
Oh, brother.
Now I'm in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I told her I was just going out for some milk.
Oh, no.
That was 4 hours ago, wasn't it?
That sounds like a you problem.
It is. I have a lot of you problems.
So as do I.
Here we go.
We are. So if you see this face on the wanted poster to call my wife, I'm here at Terminal 1.
Guilty as charged.
Red 8.
We won't tell.
Oh, good.
We'll make sure that she knows that you're behaving yourself.
You know, it's that air tag she has on me. It's a chip like right here in the back of my neck. She can follow me around the country. Oh, what a beautiful day. Are you guys just can't believe how beautiful we have today here in Minneapolis. September of all times. It's the 24th. It's 82 degrees.
Actually, that's the 26th.
26th. Thank you very much. It's my sister's birthday tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me. I'll have to make a phone call. 26th of the month. 82 lovely degrees.
Here's Delta 10 to London Heathrow.
There it is.
Yes!
What a beautiful sight.
Have an awesome ride to London.
Delta 10 Heavy, turn left heading 105, contact departure.
Left 105 over departure, Delta Tango.
Okay. Delta 2129, turn right, contact ground, point center.
There they go, making that turn.
The American first from your right at Papa. They'll be waiting for you.
We're on the southwest corner of Minneapolis Terminal 1. On the 8th floor, red, looking down. We've got the Houston flight coming in. That's Delta 2673.
Delta 2129 Minneapolis ground taxi via Papa Charlie, Charlie 6.
And that is the 220. The Airbus 220.
Turn right on Whiskey,
We got a whale.
3799.
We got a whale coming?
Turn right heading 215, contact departure.
No, we have a whale right here.
Oh, yes.
Delta 386, runway 17, taxi via Papa, cross runway 4, Mike, hold short of runway 12 right.
That's the neat thing about Chicago is getting a lot of 747s still coming into the United States from the foreign carriers. Always fun to see that.
The A220s,
Yes.
also referred to as whales because of those geared turbofan engines that have that.
Oh, yes.
And they have that whale call sound to them. Now, this aircraft is a real fine looker.
You know, it is a very comfortable ride. I've ridden up front a few times, and the pilots all have very good feedback on that aircraft. Comfortable, easy to manage.
Cut the corner to Delta, Super 8.
Delta 2129, amend route, now via Delta.
And this is a long ride that they're coming in to finish off.
Delta 386, monitor tower now, 126.7.
267, Delta 386.
Delta 170 from Seoul.
Ah, yes.
All right, here's the flagship of the Delta fleet. The big bus has arrived. Big Sexy about to touch down on 12 right.
And if in Sean.
Welcome to MSP.
Delta 2129, negative. You can just continue in via Delta. The nose to nose tow, there'll be no back by the time you get there.
Sounds good.
Delta 914, company should be pulling in. Bravo. I just have the heavy designation off your right side.
170 heavy, turn left, contact ground, point center.
Turn ground point 9, Delta 170.
Yeah, 125 heavy, and left, that's big enough.
Delta 2129, what's the gate set? Yes. Let's make it come back, please, so you know.
Delta 170, Alpha 3, all 4.
Delta 170 heavy, Minneapolis ground taxi via Alpha.
Jill, over.
Start 32 mile final, 14010 and 13 right, settle in.
Correct, go ahead, traffic.
Delta 120, turn left heading 100, contact departure.
Delta 2170 will call in your offset with ATC.
Such a stunning airframe the A350-900 is.
It really is. You know, Airbus did their homework in comfort, performance. It's a
And those style points.
absolutely.
And the huge wingspan.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely.
3799, flight 140, contact departure. Yeah, 720, turn left heading 100, contact departure.
If you're just joining us, welcome to Minneapolis Airport Live. Aircraft right in front of us just came in from Incheon, Seoul, Korea.
21 minutes, circle 3 miles, final wind 140,
350.
So 386 Minneapolis Tower at Mike, cross from 112 right.
Beautiful day here in Minneapolis, 82 degrees. Winds are 160 at 8 miles an hour. Just an absolute beautiful day. Alex, RJ, and I'm Captain Paul. Glad you joined us this afternoon. We still have a lot more great aircraft coming in this afternoon.
Oh, that's interesting right there.
All right, I'm going to turn it. That came in from Sioux Falls. It's SkyWest 4157. And they decided because that 350 was on that taxiway, they told them to go to the right. They'll bring them down to the next taxiway where they can cross either Charlie or Delta, and they'll cross the runway from there and then go to the gate. All being part of being flexible. The one flight instructor told me long ago there are two words you can never use in aviation. Always and never. Here comes Sun Country 500 from Indianapolis. Landing on 12 right.
Push 5588, turn right, and contact ground for 9.
And with the always and never, RJ, it means always prepare for something different than what you planned and never expect it's going to go the right way all the time. So
That's right.
The flexibility of
3500, turn right, take
being able to adapt to new directions. I'm sure in their landing briefing it was, oh, we're just going to take a left-hand turn. And
like it is in broadcasting all the time, too. There's a lot of crossover between what broadcasters like myself do. I'm a full-time TV production technician. Outside of what I do here in running MSP Airport Live. And Paul, you're a full-time pilot. And, you know, just digging into it, I am really surprised that there's so much crossover between the two.
Absolutely. Because in your line of work, things can be going just absolutely peachy, and then the bottom falls out.
That was me at work last Tuesday.
Yeah, let's not jinx that.
Yeah, we're not. Knock on wood here. Alex, let me knock on your head a little bit.
And, you know, and speaking of what you were just kind of mentioning, there's a new webcam available here at MSP called, it's MN Cam, I think it's within.com.
Garrett Gutley, friend of the show, he actually runs that.
So
put a lot of time and effort into it.
There's been some recent occasions where I've been, you know, playing that, and you get the ATC with it. And there's been communication going on with birds.
Oh, sure.
Here, because of our proximity to the Minnesota River.
Absolutely. There's Delta 2121 in from San Diego. Just landed in. That's a A321. Yeah, we do get a lot of birds around here, and I've had a couple bird strikes taking off out of Minneapolis and landing in Minneapolis because of that whole river valley that is to our east of the airport. There's a lot, I mean, there's deer down there and lots of birds and things like that.
A lot of waterfowl.
Yes. Especially during the fall migration.
Yes.
When everybody starts heading north or everybody starts heading south. It can be a little bit on the touchy side.
Yeah, so they were, you know, the departing flights that were reporting seeing them, of course, were mentioning it to ATC so they could pass it on to other departing flights.
On Minneapolis Airport for years they had sound cannons that they would shoot off occasionally to get the birds to fly away. They would also put decoys out there like dogs or wolves or different animals out there to try to scare away and keep rabbits out of the area and the waterfall out.
Yeah, because with the way the Minnesota River is shaped around here in this area, if you're going out on a 1-7 departure and you kind of head out towards and over the Mall of America, just beyond that is the Minnesota River. And then if you have a 1-2 left or right departure, after you rotate just beyond the end of the runway is Highway 5 and then the Minnesota River. And then just close by here, the Minnesota River merges into the Mississippi at Fort Snelling State Park. So if you go to Fort Snelling and you walk out to the end of Pike Island, you'll have the Minnesota River off to your right and the Mississippi off to your left. And there are areas of the state where the Minnesota River acts as a border on the western side, like the St. Croix on the east.
Sure.
And then, of course, the St. Croix River also empties into the Mississippi, and the St. Croix borders the eastern side of the state for quite a number of miles.
Coming up on 1-2 right landing, we've got Delta 2933. It's coming in from Sacramento. 737-800. I was in Sacramento a couple weeks ago. Beautiful airport. Kind of nice coming over the hills into the California valleys there.
Okay, left Delta 5, ground point 9, Delta point 9. 2432, turn to the right, heading 215, back to closure.
David Glover tells us he will be on the arriving flight at 8:30 from Indy on the Boeing 717. He's been watching us today.
Unfortunately, I regret to inform you we'll be gone by that time.
Well, I told my wife I was going to be here till midnight. No, it's all good. We will be gone by then. It's going to be dark. It is starting to turn. It's getting dark about 7:30 now.
Yep, sunset's now just a little after 7.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
43 minutes, 4 mile final, 1409,
And at one point in time during the summer up here, it's still getting dark after 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
And sunset is not until after 9.
No. And we go up to Canada and stuff like that, it's 11:30 and at night still got a little bit of twilight left.
Yep, further north you go, the later it is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my mom and I did a couple of cruises and we went up to Nordkap.
Okay, well then it was light all night.
Yes, it was. Yep, we docked in Hannensvag and took the shuttle up to Nordkap. We did it twice because the first time we did it, we were late arriving and getting into port. So,
Kelvin, thank you so much for becoming a member, buddy. Kelvin also tells us, and thank you for the $2 super chat. Hope the stream goes well. We're trying. We're doing the best that we can.
Thanks, Calvin. Every little bit helps, doesn't it? Every little bit.
Yeah, it sure does.
And we're showing everybody how busy this airport is.
It happens all at once. It's never a steady pacing. It's always a dump, a traffic dump. It comes in these big, huge waves.
And we're getting lots of action over here, even with the reopening of the north parallel runway.
Especially with the heavies that will occasionally go north side, wink wink, Aer Lingus. Well, they can't go north side.
No, not with the new limitations.
Because of the new restrictions. So they are forced to land 12 right or 30 left. Or 3-5 if they are instructed to do so.
So is that indefinitely going forward or temporary?
It might be temporary. I'll have to check.
Because then what happens next summer when this side is closed for resurfacing?
Well, that just means we're going to go over to Blue Ramp.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're going to be over at SeaWorld. It's a term coined by Northwest Mechanics in reference to the Sea Concourse here at MSP.
F1239, turn left, can take complimentary. F19, F1239.
Another salute, RJX Northwest A319, getting off 12 right.
2239, clear on the right side, box 2.
2239, Minneapolis ground, taxi via Alpha.
Alpha Delta 2239.
Yeah, that's Delta 2239 from Dallas. That was a 740 nautical mile flight.
What a beautiful day. You know, I know Alex and I know you have as well, RJ. We've been out here on the ramps. It's cold. It's blowing nuclear winds, and it ends up being like about 10 above. I know Alex and I spent a few times last winter coming out, trying to do a show, only to have gear freeze up.
It would not physically work. Remember the one day in January? I think it was the week after New Year's. We tried to come out. We tried to go to the viewing area and set something up. Logan Justice, our associate producer, was also with us.
Yeah,
our cameras would not work.
No.
None of our equipment would work in the cold. It was just that brutal. Now, I mean, to be quite honest, cameras aren't designed to work in those conditions necessarily,
No.
But
the one thing, it shows the dedication of our crews.
Yep.
Come out, get frostbite.
So despite the mild winter that we had, you still had that?
Well, I think our cameras got frostbite. I don't know about us, but I know our equipment certainly got bit by Jack Frost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, even in our mild winter last winter, we had a few days where it was, because of the wind, it was very cold. And we were down over by FedEx. So it made it to be, kind of a challenge many times. I know I made the drive down a few times just as, Alex going, I am sorry, it's not going to happen today. And we apologize to everybody who tuned in, who were excited as much as we were excited. They were excited to see us out there and see the aircraft. And some days it just happens, and some days it doesn't.
I guess I didn't pick up on that because I didn't start come out trying to give Alex a hand until, this summer. And I do have a position at, one of the Twin Cities area ski resorts, so I'm doing that in the winter.
Absolutely.
So
FedEx 798 just coming in on 12 right, coming in from Memphis. The freighters are starting to wake up. The doors are opening.
Ooh, nice puff of smoke there on touchdown.
Boxes are going to be unloaded and reloaded, and they'll be on their way here in a few
I know I had a FedEx delivery today. I texted my neighbor if she could go over and grab them because being out here doing this, I didn't want it to sit out in front of my house all day. And I didn't want anything to happen to it.
No, of course not.
So she was more than happy to go over and grab them for me, and I'll touch base with her tomorrow and I'll get them.
Heavy, turn right, taxi to Whiskey Mike Tango, cross runway 4, monitor ground now, 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have a position at one of the ski resorts here in the Twin Cities, so that's what I do during the winter months. And I'll take all the hours I can get.
Yeah, there you go. I try to take all the Caribbean flying I can get in the winter.
Well, of course, I've spent quite a bit of time down there already. So, and as I know I've shared on previous streams, you know, I did lose my mom during COVID and did everything it took to get up and myself back up here, being a Minnesota native. And
sure.
We all know how it is sometimes when you were used to doing things together and now you don't have that companionship anymore.
Right.
So, one of these days, I just have to fly now anywhere I go to get on one, because before we used to just drive down to Fort Lauderdale to Port Everglades and get on and go.
Right there. We've got Sun Country 424 coming in from Los Angeles. Just landed here on 12 right, 737-800. Kind of that whole Tide Pod delivery.
130 Minneapolis, charge up 2 miles on a wind, 15010, and 1 to right to line. Foxtrot 497, Minneapolis ground, be runway 17, come out via Whiskey 5, hold short of Whiskey.
Okay, Whiskey 5, that's for 17, and we'll hold short of Whiskey. Class 197.
Spaghetti 424, taxi to Whiskey Delta, monitor ground, point 9.
Whiskey Delta, monitor point 9, see you, 424.
In the background with that aircraft of Sun Country, turn it off there. See the signature flight service. Corporate aircraft all getting ready to go. So we've got a
8483, wait for Alaska to come out, then taxi in.
After Alaska, cleared in Delta.
Falcon
197, continue via Whiskey now, cross runway 4.
starting to make its way out.
All right, Whiskey cross runway 4.
We've got a very healthy corporate flight community out here in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area with St. Paul Airport, as well as Minneapolis. And then we've got some smaller satellite airports in the area as well that are very strong as well.
So, Captain Paul, I have another question for you.
Yes.
As I was playing around with my flight radar last night, of course, you know, I was monitoring the air traffic down in Florida. I saw one, like a small corporate jet like this, down in that area, and they were up at, what, 43,000.
Okay.
What's their max?
Well, the service ceiling depends on the aircraft. You know, there are some Learjets that can get up to 60.
Wow.
Now, of course, that's going to be 2 people and not much gas. So, you know, typically in the corporate world, I liked flying in the 40s, especially going over to Europe. I could stay away from the airliners and do a random route over to Europe. Once I left Gander, or when I was flying Gulfstream straight from Minneapolis, I could go to London. And I like to fly in the 40s. That was always nice.
Ooh, that's up there.
It's quiet, no traffic outside of corporate aviation. So that, corporate like to just get on up, stay out of the way of the airlines, save some gas. Performance is better up there as well.
Well, there you go. That'll be good. Another good piece of education for our viewers. Well, especially it's coming from somebody like you who is actually out doing it now.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
And my dad used to, and as well as my uncle. But, times have changed.
Absolutely. Aircrafts have changed. The whole industry has changed immensely, even since I started flying in 1991 at the age of 6.
Well, my mom always used to say we were getting on and off of airplanes like people were getting in and out of cars.
Yes. Yeah, I grew up the same way. I remember my mom, I think I was 5 years old, maybe younger. We took a Convair 580 up to Duluth, and she was very excited. She was working for North Central Airlines, and she was very excited to take me up with my grandmother. And believe it or not, I screamed the entire way up there, screaming, "We're falling, we're falling." She was very embarrassed, was tempted to put me on a bus to go back to Minneapolis. Of course, I think she...
Instead of flying back.
Gave me some Benadryl, and no, it wasn't invented back then. But I came back to Minneapolis, and it's strange. She said for somebody who screamed all the way to Duluth on an airplane at the age of 4 or 5 years old, you became a pilot. So dreams do come true sometimes.
And another little fun event for me, when I was little growing up here, we came out here on a class trip. And we got on a Northwest DC-10 sitting out here at one of the gates and went down, to the back galley on one side, cut across, and came back up on the other side. And, I get it, for my classmates at the time, it was probably a big thing for them. It was something that they had never done before. They'd maybe never been on an airplane or never flew in any way, shape, or form. But for me, I was kind of like, in my mind, twiddling my thumbs and saying, "Oh, ho-hum, my dad flies this." Because at the time, I think he was. So, and there for a while, when I was flying back and forth between here and Tampa, I was flying on the 10s a lot because Northwest was flying them between here and there.
Right.
I was actually keeping track of all the different ones that I was on, and I still have that list.
That is neat.
So, I used to kind of keep a journal, and I scanned everything, so I don't have everything now, but I do have it in scanned form.
Well, for many, many people, aviation gets into the blood either through family or coming out to the airport and being in the observation areas and watching. For us, nowadays in the world of the internet and everything, people can watch these, and I think it exposes young kids to flying in aviation, where you and I both got it, involved through our parents.
Oh, yeah. And I know, as I've said before, my dad just truly loved to fly. He could not get enough of it. And unfortunately, what happened to him, it never happened. He would have continued to fly until he had to retire.
Sure. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome, Minneapolis Airport Live. I'm Captain Paul. Joining you today is RJ. And Alex at the helm, as always, leading the ship. It's 82 degrees on the beautiful Thursday afternoon here in Minneapolis. It's the 26th of September. Very odd that we're dealing with weather like this, but we will take it. We had London depart about 25 minutes ago in Delta. We've had De Gaulle come in. We had Incheon come in. We had De Gaulle go out, Incheon came in. London went out.
We had an Amsterdam flight.
We had an Amsterdam flight come in as well.
And we're going to be getting one departing here, I think, pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got lots of stuff still happening here in Minneapolis. It's been a wonderful day. Glad you could join us today. We are parked in the observation today here in Terminal 1, 8th floor on the red ramp. And for me, this is new for me to come over here. I always go to the observation. They keep me out in the pasture over near FedEx. And today I was invited to come and spend time here in this area, which is great. You got a great view. We've got some sun protection, wind protection. Well, not a lot of sun protection, but we do have some wind protection here. Plus, we have a really great view of what is going on in Minneapolis International Airport.
A lot of Delta activity. And
Yes.
It used to be Northwest. As we show everything here with all the Delta aircraft parked here. Back in the times of my father and my uncle flying, these were all Northwest red-tailed airplanes.
Yes, they
here.
were.
So.
That Republic.
Yep. So this airport is alive and well. It's not going anywhere.
No, absolutely not.
And it has grown quite a bit over the years.
It has, and we just finished up construction on the north parallel runways, and then they'll do some construction on the south runways. And I think, due to the harsh weather climate we have up here, it does wreak havoc on our airports. When I flew in Russia, the airports over there, the runways were very bad because with all the freeze and thaw, and the concrete would buckle, and you had to be careful.
So which airports in Russia?
Some areas outside of Moscow, and then I also went in Ukraine, Kiev, and that airport was very nice. The new Russia Moscow airport, which is a private airport, is absolutely beautiful. My wife, when she was at American, used to go in there a couple times a month, and that was very nice. But they just don't have the infrastructure in a lot of those outer airports throughout the old Soviet Union.
Yeah, the first ever cruise that my mom and I did to Europe, we were in St. Petersburg for an overnight. But that was back in 1993.
Sure.
So I have walked on Russian.
Things were very new.
Yeah, so my feet have walked on Russian soil. So it was an interesting experience.
It's a very beautiful country. They're just in a very bad situation.
Yep.
So we're getting a little bit of a break here.
We just had a NetJets coming in from Bozeman.
Oh, there they are.
Challenger 350. It just landed. They'll be hanging right here shortly, and then going into Signature for those wonderful Signature chocolate chip cookies.
I think anybody over there might be watching, and they could bring some over to us. Then we could compare them to Sweet Martha's.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Right. Oh, there's always popcorn at those FBOs. There's always cookies.
Yeah, and then back on the subject of the Minnesota State Fair, you can get pretty much just about anything.
Yes, yeah. The strange thing, though, up in Gander, Newfoundland, when I would fly from here to Gander and then get fuel and then go over to Paris or London when the Falcon 50, the airport up there gives out ice cream.
Ooh.
So it would be like 10, 15 below. We'd stop in there, and the fueler would say, why don't you go inside, get yourself some ice cream, I'll fuel the aircraft. Well, I'm not going to turn that down.
Oh, I wouldn't.
So they had a big freezer with all kinds of different ice creams. So that was kind of a nice way to continue over to Europe.
Especially when it's free.
Well, nothing's free, especially when you're paying the amount of gas
for the fuel,
paying,
yeah,
yes.
but from the idea of getting the ice cream, you kind of put the fuel cost off to the side, because that's not maybe what you're thinking of at the time.
It's expensive ice cream.
Rob tells us, I was at MSP Aircraft Viewing Area in June. It was just so windy. We had, I think, one of the windiest springs on record.
We had a very rainy month of June and July, too.
Yes.
We had all the flooding.
2996 direct to the airport for LifeLink 8, thank you.
So, we really didn't get that much snow last winter, but we had a lot of flooding because of just the rain that we had.
Want to thank all of our new subscribers. Want to thank Kelvin for his new membership. Helps us out a lot. It's not easy to stream from our location, just based on the complexity of issues that we kind of run into from time to time, but You're in capable hands. And folks, you're just joining us here at MSP International Airport. My name's Alex Redding. I'm the executive producer of MSP Airport Live. Also joining me, Paul Hansen, Captain Paul Hansen, and RJ Bean.
Yeah, don't ever forget the word captain. It had Paul's first name.
We're not allowed to use that at my house.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My wife says you're a captain at work, not at home. So.
Oh, okay. All in good fun.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm guessing she's the captain when
she's the boss at home.
Yes, she is. Yes, she. I'll tell you, being, for her to go through me being gone, and when I was flying corporate, being gone for months and months, keeping the kids safe and healthy, and running the household, and always when I would leave, something would break. Garage door wouldn't open up, the refrigerator quit working, you name it, washing machine, dishwashers, things go south. So for her to manage all of that while I was out on the road was huge. So it's not an easy thing for a family to have an airline pilot in the family, as you know.
Oh yeah.
But it's a rewarding career, and for the whole family.
Yeah, I grew up along with my brother, with my mom, and my dad was gone a lot. You know, some months he was flying the line, as we would say, and some months he was working out here in the training department. So,
which is great when you're in the training department, because you get to come home every day and sleep in your bed.
Exactly.
Yeah, NATCO, which was to the east of us, fantastic training facility that was put up by Northwest Airlines. I trained in there in the 727. And it's kind of, there's nothing there anymore. It's the Minnesota Vikings Training Center it's turned into. All the training that when Delta grabbed the helm of Northwest, they took it all down to Atlanta. And that's where all the training is being done for Delta.
Charter 3 mile final for runway 12 left, Airbus at a 2,300. You may have to maneuver to the right a little bit.
So with the camera pointed in that direction, where all the Delta aircraft are parked, that's in the
maneuver to the right a little bit, searching for traffic.
Yep.
So just beyond the end of the runway down there is Highway 5,
Thanks.
and then the Minnesota River Valley. And there's a wildlife refuge over there, so you can go over and park at the visitor center and do the hiking trails down along the river and see everything else that's down there with all the wildlife where the birds are coming from.
Absolutely. I remember as a kid, across the way from us on Post Road, obviously all those blast pads weren't there. And there was Van Dusen, which was the FBO, and the road out there had parking areas for watching airplanes land, and it was gravel. And we would take the mini bikes back there and ride around on the mini bikes. And that whole Post Road was so much different these days.
Yeah, when I want to do some spotting, I tend to go to the viewing area because you get a better view from down there. I mean, you have the fence, but at least you can see. And down over here at the cell phone lot, if you're not parked in the right spot, you're sitting behind those blast fences over there.
Absolutely.
There is the cell lot, speaking of which. You also have the skyline of some office buildings near the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Tower 11 gate turning left to the north.
You also have the Crown Plaza Air Hotel sprinkled into the mix.
2895 Minneapolis Tower, wind 1507012. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can sit over on the top level of the parking ramp and do some plane spotting over there too.
Sure.
Terminal 2.
1051 Minneapolis Tower, if you're up 4 and trail the company.
Departures off of 17.
Absolutely correct. Now, I mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. We were going to be over there today, but there's so much maintenance / construction going on at T2 parking, and our usual spot, or really any spot on Orange 6 that we would have set up at was taken. There's no room for us over there, so we had to come over here to Terminal 1. Activate Plan C. Well, what was Plan B? Plan B was to go over to Purple 6, but obviously we couldn't do that because Purple 6 was closed.
Shuttle 6075, Map Tower, you're up, wind 150.
But I think we're still doing pretty good over here today.
17, quick second.
I think so too.
Coming up here on the right side, 1-2 right, we've got the Delta 2895 coming in from Newark.
1703,
It's the
Tower,
Boeing 717 200
direct foot away.
Daniel, thank you so much for being a MSP Airport Live member for half a year, 6 months.
Woohoo!
I think I need to give him a salute.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. Daniel says, great job. Keep up the great stream. We'll certainly do that.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's live right now.
Awesome.
2095, what's the gate? 2095, taxi via Papa, monitor point 9.
And just landing here from Santa Ana, California. We have Delta Flight 1700.
It looks like company is about 10 north here.
The Whale.
East on 1500.
The Airbus 220. Kind of makes that whale sounds.
1700, first left turn you can make. Contact point 9. Company is about a mile behind you.
Beautiful day out here, 82 degrees. It's 81 now. The winds are 140 at 9.
It's just right. Sunny and not comfortably warm.
Yeah, and it's nice that you're, you know, as the sun is going down the landing to the east, because I always find it to be such a challenge when you're landing into the sun. It's always frustrating. Or when I used to fly the red eyes, landing into the sun when the sun was coming up, doing a west to east coast flight. We've got Delta 1051, 737-900 just coming in from Nashville, landing on 12 right.
So when it comes to the California airports, I have flown into San Diego.
I love San Diego.
2-3 times. That's a very interesting approach.
It is. It's challenging, but I love it. And there's some great photos that have come out of that parking lot. On final. They kick people out of there, but there's people that have run up there, and I've seen some just wonderful photos that people have taken from that parking lot.
So where is this parking location?
It is located just east of the runway in San Diego. And it's the only parking ramp that you can see.
So it's between, of course, the runway and downtown.
Yes. Yep.
I haven't been out there in a while, but we did do about 3 or 4 cruises from there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area. A very beautiful area. We got on short final right now. Delta 1703 coming in from Orlando. They got out just in time. I'm sure most of that weather really hasn't affected the Orlando area as it has the Gulf, Tampa, St. Pete, and that whole coastal line up into the Panhandle as it moves north.
We really hope that if you folks are living down there, if you have family down there, we hope you're all right, that you're exercising the precautions necessary to keep you and your property safe.
Absolutely.
This is a very serious event, and you know, I was really worried looking at it last night.
Yeah, of course, all the airports down there along the west coast are closed at the moment because of the weather, and of course, in the case of Tampa and the location of that airport, it's very, very close to kind of like the northeast corner of Tampa Bay.
Yep.
So it's not too much above sea level.
No, that runway closed at 2 a.m. today.
Yes, it did.
So I've got friends of mine, pilots that live down in that Tampa area, and they're. My friend Jim is sitting in Charlotte, waiting to go home. But I think it won't be till tomorrow.
So, and of course, once the weather passes, they have a protocol that they have to follow in order to get the airport safely reopened. And
let's go back to the original plan. Whiskey Delta, hold short 12 right. You said Charlie, which one you were cut off by the other frequency? Charlie,
and I know the Sunshine Skyway Bridge is closed.
Yes.
For some people who are not aware, who know of that bridge, it is a suspension bridge.
Yes, that's right.
So there is a threshold in which, if the winds get to be too strong in a sustained way, they do close it.
Yes, they do.
Because, yeah, if you're driving any type of a high-profile vehicle, as you drive over the top, because you're roughly, give or take, about 200 feet above the water.
Yes, it is.
You do feel it.
It is beautiful. Oh, well, look who just came to Minneapolis. It's Iceland Air 657 coming in from Reykjavik.
Charlie 17, taxi Alpha, hold short of Delta. Ground now, 0.9, let's see. Alright, Delta back, crossable for
I've been to Reykjavik once when I was flying corporate.
2 right turns, taxi Whiskey.
Beautiful area.
And Delta monitor 0.9 on the way.
It must be pretty light today, Alex. What do you think?
1.9,
I think maybe they're a little full.
They're heading over to Terminal 2. That's their Minnesota gates. Now, do they operate year-round, Alex, or is it just a seasonal?
Technically, it's just a seasonal, but they have a very short sabbatical before they resume their long seasonal service to Minneapolis, St. Paul. Does Iceland Air. So they'll end it pretty late in the year, and then they'll take a short 2 or 3 month sabbatical before they arrive in April.
246, taxi Alpha onto runway 22.
Or May, I can't remember.
Sure.
I know it's spring.
The runway 22, hold short, 12 right, Delta 2246. Supersonic 6, pathfinder 737, they're left to right on Alpha. Supersonic 6, flying at 73, monitor tower 126.7, good day.
Always great to see IC.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, of course, there was some news that broke about Iceland Air. Do you know what that is?
No, I did not.
Now, I'm going to say news in quotation marks.
Okay.
Say hello to the camera.
Hello.
So it was, I think, mistakenly reported by Airways Magazine. Ishran Aviation, who is a airline schedules analyst,
Okay.
raised a question just because that Ishran noticed, hey, there are no more scheduled flights, to my knowledge, beyond the fall of this year with Iceland Air 757-300s when they only have 2 of them.
Okay.
And they're not the oldest birds flying around. They're just over 20 years of age.
Sure.
And with Iceland Air getting their new A321neos in, retirement is certainly on the horizon for Iceland Air 757-300 flying pencils.
Sure.
I think there were multiple outlets that took the question that was originally raised. It wasn't information, because Iceland Air had not made an announcement yet. They didn't say anything. There was a question that was raised just because, you know, that's what schedule analysts do. Like, hey, I see this. You know, what do you think this could be? Everyone said, oh my goodness, they're going to be, you know, retiring the 757-300s. You know, 2024 is the final year for them. But then later, the schedule for 2025 for those aircraft had them going to certain destinations out of Reykjavik. So, I mean, well, hold on. What do you think, Paul? Do you think they're going to retire them? Or do you think they're going to still fly them for another year or two?
I think they'll hang on for a couple more years and then integrate the 321, and they're going to go with the Neos. And I think that's the way it's going to go. I mean, the 75s can be sold off for freighters, get the doors cut in them. But I think, it's Boeing's having some issues.
And
the Neos are becoming available, and with the factory in Europe, and then also in the United States. So I think that thought that you have regarding the 321s coming in is going to happen. We'll probably see the phasing out of the 75s. Hang on to a few. If you can make money, get rid of them. If you're getting in the Airbuses, you can get rid of the 757s and sell those off. Money coming in is always good for an airline.
Yeah, and it's important to know that unless if the airline has come out and specifically said something about retirement, which they will come out and say something about it.
Right.
That's all speculation. That is all just anecdotal. It's a lot of myth going around.
Yeah, absolutely. The airline industry is so filled with rumors. I remember.
I just shake my head sometimes at all the stuff
my
that comes
goodness.
out. I mean, we all can't be perfect, but I mean, like, come on, let's be diligently assessing
But
the
that's not
information.
exciting.
Yeah.
The rumor mills make it exciting. I remember when I was flying 727s at Champion Air, there were these rumors, we're going to get 757s, life is going to be good, and Northwest is really happy with us, and Northwest got bought by Delta, and Champion Air went away. I learned in my aviation career I'm never going to believe it's true unless my butt is sitting in that seat and the check is cleared. So that's kind of how I run my life in this aviation world now.
And then what is Aer Lingus changing over to going forward to fly in here? They're going to be...
Oh, that's an excellent question, RJ.
Yes, because they're going to be changing over to an Airbus, was it 321?
Yes.
Yeah, the 321 XLR.
Neo, yeah.
XLR, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a very good question.
So a mini Shamrock.
Well, yeah.
Mini Shamrock.
The Shamrock Shake.
And by the way, it is confirmed they were able to get all the issues sorted out, whatever it was related to contracts and delivery stuff with the 321 XLR.
Okay.
They're going to be flying every single day of the week here to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and it's going to be year-round.
Woo! I am going to Dublin next September, so
And that's starting in 2025. So that's next year, not this year.
Okay.
And next year we'll be here before we know it. I mean, we're going to be coming up on October 1st. Was it Tuesday next week?
Yeah. Well, maybe I will buy a ticket on Aer Lingus when I go to Dublin.
Well, I think the aircraft is the perfect size for service here to Minneapolis, St. Paul, because those 330s, as impressive and as cool as they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We just don't have the demand to keep filling those large planes up to Dublin and back. And I'm sure Aer Lingus can attest to this. I mean, of course, they're going to know way more than we are.
Yeah,
what do we know, right?
Yeah. I think you're correct. Just had Sun Country 218 coming in from Cincinnati.
Yeah, going back to Aer Lingus, though, they're not able to fill the 330s, and it was kind of more of a stopgap thing, and we're very appreciative that they are sending the larger equipment to Minneapolis, St. Paul.
246, turn right heading 215, contact departure.
Yeah, I don't care what aircraft is wearing a Shamrock tail. The fact that we do have a Shamrock here in the first place, I think is something to celebrate.
Absolutely.
And they have a phenomenal service.
Is this a day of the week, too? I know I'm changing the subject with airlines, but is this a day of the week that we don't get service with Air France?
I mean, I want
or
to
they
say...
have they not come in yet?
Air France actually does not come in on Thursdays, and I realized that when I went out this morning. I'm like, we're going to get Air France? Oh, no, we're not. Duh, because they don't come in on Thursdays, I don't think.
Okay.
I think they take a day off during the week, but yeah, I think they'll be back tomorrow. Air France, by the way. They will be flying Dreamliners until the end of their operating summer schedule here at MSP because they're a seasonal carrier. So we'll get to see more Air France Dreamliners. It was really nice when they brought back the 777-200s throughout the bulk of the summer season. That was very nice. And it started on June 3rd when they started to fly the 772 into Minneapolis, St. Paul. Yep, they're back to the Dreamliners. We love them. We love them both.
Absolutely.
And to have Air France back here at MSP Airport after a one-year hiatus, certainly a great sight to see.
It is.
And it was something that I think initially everyone was kind of really down about it because, I don't think we're going to get them back. They haven't made any announcements. They, took the route off the schedule, and, well, then they came back to it, and it was contract negotiations with Delta pilots.
Oh, sure.
That was the reason why they took a year-long sabbatical, because they had, the Delta pilots and those long-haul pilots, the home pilots here at MSP, the ones that are based here, they need the work.
Yep.
They need the work, and I support that decision. I completely support that decision.
Delta was doing De Gaulle out of Raleigh, and Air France is replacing Delta out of Raleigh to do those flights now, which I was surprised that happened, but maybe that was part of it.
And also KLM, I don't know if RJ and Paul, I don't know if you know this, but starting this year, KLM is seasonal. They will not be here in the winter anymore.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I think it's because they are going to Portland now.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah. And so they either had the option of Portland or us, and they chose Portland.
Sure. Well, it makes sense.
And that does make total sense. But the trade-off is this. We'll have Lufthansa year-round. We will have the Lufthansa Dreamliners.
Sure.
And typically, KLM's winter schedule was nocturnal. So it was all after dark. The arrival and the departure. And last winter, the exception was Sunday. You'd get the arrival in the late afternoon, early evening, just in the remaining hour or two of daylight you had available.
Right.
And the departure was under the cover of darkness. Lufthansa is going to be operating, I think, their same schedule in the time slot for arrival and departure as we've observed them. So around a 1 p.m. arrival, 3 p.m., maybe later departure year-round. I am certainly going to take that trade-off.
Oh, yeah.
As from a spotting perspective, I will take that trade-off. Because that means we get to see them in daylight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I mean, like, we're going to take what we're going to get, but I mean, like, if we did have a preference, like, if we actually did have any power over the situation, I would have still picked Lufthansa over KLM if we had to pick one.
Sure. Now, when did Condor stop?
That's a good question. They did stop earlier this month. They'll be back. They were flying full most of the time with their A330 Neos.
I love that paint scheme.
The towels.
Yeah.
I hated that paint scheme when it came out, and I know that's a strong word.
Delta 2238 coming in from Las Vegas. It's a 321. Just landed on 12 right. Runways today, 12 right, 12 left, and 17. Beautiful day, 81 degrees here. Winds are 140 at 9 knots. 26th of September, we are abnormally lucky to have beautiful weather. Coming to you from Minneapolis International Airport, Terminal 1, Level 8, on the Red Ring. Alex attempted to get us into Terminal 2, but the construction crews had other ideas for us, and they were working on the parking ramps over there. And I'm glad he told me about that, because I have to park over there on Saturday to go to work. And if I'm driving around looking for a parking spot, that's not going to be fun. So I'm glad, Alex, that you told me what was going on over there.
So that's good to have a heads up.
It's very good.
And just checking in on some of the things that we've talked about a lot today. I'm just using my weather bug app. The sunset here tonight is 7 o'clock.
Holy smokes. We are losing daylight.
Like crazy.
San Francisco flight Delta 2078 is coming in at 737-900, telling right side. One to right. We'll land in here shortly.
Charlie 2, Sierra, November, cross runway 4, hold short runway
Sunrise this morning was 7:04 a.m.
Yes, it was. I had a 7 a.m. haircut appointment. And it was dark when I drove there.
46-4, Matt, keep moving at Mike, cross 1 2 right, join Whiskey. Alright, well, just move in and join Whiskey. That was 24.
You know, for 20 bucks, I don't leave these locks to just anybody.
So I just pulled up my Wonderground app because I like to look at both because of the way they display some things.
Yeah.
So we have taken the change in direction of having less daylight because on Wonderground they have a graph on here with the round circle showing how many hours of daylight and midnight and darkness. And our daylight is now down to 11 hours and 57 minutes.
Wow.
2607, monitor tower 126.7, good day.
And yeah, when I was working the fair, because I was working the 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift where I was getting up at 5 and it was still dark, starting to get light when I left. And there are some serious fairgoers here.
Absolutely.
So there's people always standing out there at the gate waiting for it to open before 7 in the morning.
Yes.
So now if we were doing the same thing, it wouldn't be that way with the daylight.
2027, wind 140.
As we've chatted about it, Minnesota State Fair runs 12 days and it always starts accordingly to end on Labor Day. So it always starts on a Thursday, last day is on a Monday, and just depending on how the dates of the calendar fall, are the dates of the fair.
Right.
2485, Minneapolis ground meter, push with your discretion, find runway 12 up.
AKA the Great Minnesota Get-Together. And with the attendance numbers that we produced, there you go.
Well, yeah, over 2 million people in 12 days.
The only reason that the Texas State Fair beats us is because it runs for longer. If you were to average out, I think, the numbers between the Texas State Fair and our State Fair through the same duration of time, we'd beat them in attendance.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And this is part of the Homer side of me coming out here, being a Minnesota native, don't you know?
Yeah, you betcha.
We got the best state fair in the dang union. It is a spectacle. It is worth flying up here for the whole week of the fair. Just to take a vacation or whatnot, explore the Twin Cities, end of summer. It's very worth it, in my opinion.
Yes, it is.
Despite the chaos.
Yeah, and we had some weather challenges this year, too.
Couple of, actually, I think maybe 3 straight line wind events. It was nasty this year on some days.
Yeah, we had a day where we closed late. Or started, yeah, we opened one day 2 hours late because of the weather from that morning.
215, over to watching at 2027. Got 4064, wind 1508, fly runway heading, runway 17, close takeoff.
Paul needs a break. Paul does need a break. We've been out here for a while, myself included. I've been out here since, I want to say noon today, so I've been out here for roughly over 6 hours. Part of that was set up. And you know, it's not that bad. We do have quite a bit of equipment here that we get to work with. But it's very fun running everything, bringing you the live shows.
75, traffic holding in position at November, cross runway 17, limit of the gate.
We'll see if we can get a shot of our setup here.
And we're looking right into the sun, too.
Yeah, it's not the best spot in the world.
Papa Lima, Minneapolis Tower, wind 1508, round to right, below.
But it was the one that was available and the one that was the best for the situation today. And I know I've mentioned it a couple of times earlier. We would have been streaming at Terminal 2 if not for the simple fact that Orange 6 was completely full. There was not a space that we could set up at, and for me to park the production van at, in a space that was next to the overlook by Terminal 2. And Purple 6, which is the south ramp at Terminal 2, it was closed for maintenance. That was my plan B. That was my backup, was to go to Purple 6, and we would have gotten all the 17 departures from Purple 6, and it would have been great. That's a really nice spot to hang out, especially in the mornings when you get the cargo departures, etc. But stuff happens. That's why also you make a plan C. That's why we're here at Terminal 1.
2607, line for the wind.
So while Paul's taking a break, I'm just saying
914 Minneapolis Tower, Gulf Stream, about a 2-mile final, wind 150 at 7, runway 1 to right, by the way. 1 to right, clear line, click on that, American 2440, contact departure, good night. Over departure, good night, American 2440.
sticking with us.
We'll come out with you today. 140, monitor tower 126.7, good night. 267, thanks, Mike. 2087, Minneapolis ground, push approved.
All right, I am back. Needed to just take a little stretch. Stand on this concrete. It's a little bit. Plus, I'm living in flip-flops.
I was going to say,
I'm not
making it easy for yourself necessarily,
No.
but, you know, I could totally understand.
I may be smart, but I am dumb. Oh, if you're just joining us, welcome. Good afternoon.
Well, it's good evening now.
Oh, it's good evening. See, I told you I was dumb.
No, I think it's just when you are in the zone, you tend to lose track of things from time to time, and it happens. I mean, especially with an airport that we get to spot here today.
Got Alex, RJ,
so
and
much going
myself,
on.
Captain Paul. Glad you joined us. Minneapolis is using the runways 12 right, 12 left. Camera is focused on 12 right. 12 left is to the north of us. We are to the south, facing beautiful view today. It's 81 degrees now. Minneapolis, 27 degrees centigrade.
Facing kind of towards the southwest here at MSP Airport. Currently overlooking the G gates here at MSP, Concourse G.
And as the saying goes, time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely.
Literally fly.
Absolutely. Let's see here.
I just love the 757-300. That's just such a stunning bird.
Isn't it? It really is. I flew back.
What on God's green earth was...
Well, it certainly was not that 757. We are just above the road leading out of the MSP International Airport. Somebody wanted to show off that they had some new pipes on their Prius.
Are you serious?
Heavy monitor tower 126.7, good day.
What a beautiful night. Yeah, that's a beautiful airplane. I flew last Thursday, Lauderdale to Atlanta, and Atlanta back to Minneapolis on that aircraft. It's so comfortable.
And guess what, everyone? That's an NW tail.
It's an NW tail.
Salute.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Headed to Atlanta.
Registration is 596 November Whiskey.
Traffic 4 out at Charlie, cross 312 right, and then back into the gate, traffic from the right way.
Just arriving for the evening party. Delta 914, Los Angeles to Minneapolis. It's an A321 with the left-hand turn, and we go behind the 7.5.
1026, they're heavy on their toes going into Fox 12, so get way to them, and then continue via Alpha onto runway 22, hold short.
So you just said that car was a Prius?
It could be.
I
think
those
you
were
want it to
hybrid
be
cars.
a Prius.
It would be cool if it was a Prius with pipes that
Yes,
loud, wouldn't it?
exactly.
One can dream.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's people out there just have to be that way, and they think they're cool, but they're really not.
I know.
2107, Minneapolis ground, runway 17. Start via Alpha, hold short to Alpha 4. Alright, 17 Alpha, hold short to Alpha 4.
Oh, yeah.
145, Minneapolis ground.
That Airbus sound with those engines. Those are the was that an A220 over there?
That was the whale sound that the A220s make, courtesy of the Pratt & Whitney geared turbofan engines. There's the A220 on the move.
Right.
This is an A220 300. There's
I got part
there's
of
the
it right.
culprit for that sound. Right in view. I see you.
Bravo calls 4 full short of Mike, Delta 267.
Ginger for Lifers is telling us that the Hurricane I is about 1 hour away from where they are at. Please be safe.
Yeah, do what you can.
Yeah, do what
Make
you
sure
can.
that you take the necessary precautions. Stay safe, all right?
Yeah, I was texting a couple of my former neighbors down there, checking in with them because of this yesterday, so I'm definitely thinking of everybody down there.
There's that whale sound again.
Yeah. Line up on 12 right from Aberdeen. It's SkyWest Flight 4262 coming in from Aberdeen, South Dakota.
We'll catch it in just a second here.
CRJ 900.
12 right, Delta 2087. 2087 monitor tower 126.7, good day. 126.7, Delta 2087. 2107 monitor tower 126.7, good day. 6.7, Delta 2107.
We also have a 767 FedEx freighter coming in from Kansas City. I knew I saw something a little bit on the bigger side out there.
Yeah.
Of a 2087 Tower Bureau, keep it moving there from Mike.
FedEx,
right,
Flight 384.
I can see you, Mike. Cross 12 right, Whiskey Delta 2087. Of a 1026 Tower, traffic 2 out, on runway 22, cross runway 12 right, join Whiskey. Cross 12 right, join Whiskey Delta 1026. 725, wind 150 at 6, turn left heading 120, runway 17, let's take off. 4262, let's turn, join Alpha ground point 9. 2 left, and join Alpha ground point 9, please. Good enough. American 2140, contact departure, sit. Good day, American 2140.
That Skyways flight you're seeing on the screen came in from Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Minneapolis ground, taxi Alpha Delta, Quebec.
CRJ 900.
900 today. Monster ground 18. Yep, target evening, 4.5 trails, a heavy 7-6, caution wake turbulence, wind 150 at 6, turn on to right, for line.
We got a 3 for 1 and 1 shot.
Yeah, the two that crossed the runway side by side. Yeah.
757-300 strutting its way in front of the aircraft viewing area, currently traversing taxiway and whiskey.
2145, runway 17, start via Bravo and hold short of the construction, I'll call you back. Okay, runway 17, we will go Bravo, hold short of the construction, Delta 2145. Run 132, approach 2 on whiskey. Sector 725, contact departure. No, 2264 again. 734 heavy, taxi whiskey, Delta, Tango, cross 4,
I'm looking off in the distance where all the freighters are hanging out. The doors are open. Boxes are coming off and going in. They'll be packed up here in a couple of hours and head off for their night runs.
To you, Alpha Charlie, hold short, only 12 right. 2087, wind 1407, fly runway heading for now, runway 17.
And coming up on a short final, Delta 1878 coming in from Cancun, Mexico. There's a 737-900.
2145, the tug is way to you, just verify, hold short, only 12 right. Hold short, 12 right, the tug will give away to Delta 2145. Got 3783, Minneapolis Tower, traffic 4 out of Mike Cross 12.
Starting to get busy here in Minneapolis again.
On the other side, no back.
Had kind of a quiet mode for about a half hour.
Got 4052 Minneapolis Tower, keep close to the company at Mike Cross 12 right, going with you. Down to Alpha 4, please, tug waves, ground point 9.
Alpha 4, representing Delta 1878.
Sure, 452 Minneapolis Tower, Charlie, cross coming 12 right, left turn, whiskey to signature, traffic 3 out. Left 12 right on Charlie, left turn, whiskey, remote. 1026, running 17 lines away. 1878, Minneapolis ground, join Bravo to the
Winds now are 150 at 10 knots, 81 degrees.
Heavy behind, traffic rocking out, continue altitude gain.
You are watching Minneapolis Airport live. September 26th.
26.7, Delta 2145.
Looking at the Cancun flight just got in.
So on this flight that's coming into gate G13, there is somebody down there directing them in.
Yep. Yeah, not all the airports have auto parking.
Yeah, he's walking backwards, and
Los Angeles has it. Dallas has it. Yep, there he is. Auto docking. Not all the airports have it. It's very popular in Europe, and it's making its way into the U.S.
There we go.
I always wonder if the marshalers are trying to get me to stop. How close they get me to stop on that line. If it's like a challenge to see if I can stop right on the line.
So when you get off, do you go down to look to see?
No, I don't.
Right on the mark? Ooh, who do we have here?
That Delta 2654 Atlanta again.
What's our tail number on that one?
That tail number is
10.26 contact departure, we'll see.
6709.
So there's no letter.
No, there's not.
Darn it, I wanted to salute.
I know.
Good evening.
I think sometimes I do it in my sleep at night.
We have to get her a bell. You
I know that Scott Norris.
Oh, Mr. Scott.
Yep, from the History Center, when we had him on for a quick episode in December of last year. And I know he had been plugging as well for us to have a gong sound effect.
I think that would be fitting.
And we do have the gong over there.
The old 757-200 is coming in from Hot Atlanta. One of the many daily flights coming in from Atlanta.
2107, turn right heading 215, contact departure set.
Now,
So-
the latest news, Southwest is going to cut back their Atlanta gates. Just was announced yesterday.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They're trying to curb it back.
Turn left heading 120.
They have a lot of gates that were left over from AirTran. And I think they're trying to save some money if they can sell those gates off or lease them off to Delta or somebody else, Frontier, maybe another one that might help them out. It's we got United Airlines 2619 coming in from Denver. It's an A319.
24 Minneapolis Tower, wind 1505, round correct, clear to land. Clear to land.
Got a shout out to my friend Pete Garberg. He's watching us today. He just sent me a text. Thanks for watching, Pete. Pete is one of our fine, upstanding FAA agents in the Twin Cities market. Making sure that everything is safe and operating in accordance with the FAA regulations.
So I'll say thanks to Pete also and for everything he does.
Absolutely.
Minneapolis ground, taxi via Alpha Delta. 299, turn left heading 360 now, climb maintain 4000.
That's heading 360, 4000, Delta 1699.
My first auto land in an Airbus was on a 390.
699, contact approach 121.2.
Describe that first landing for you or for us.
Well, you know, when you're trusting an aircraft to auto land the first time, I mean, in the simulator it's one thing, but to have it happen in person, in reality, it's
3783, contact departure.
It's a little nervousy. You know, you get nervous, but as long as everything is in the gates and perimeters, just keep on rolling down. And it does a very, very nice job.
And I'm sure that's to be expected the first time.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And once you get past that...
Yeah, it's like old hat. It's like driving in fog. When you're a brand new driver.
942 Minneapolis Tower, foreign trail, the company bus, wind 1507, I want to direct the line.
If you're just joining us, welcome Minneapolis Airport Live, coming from the Minneapolis International Airport. The 26th of September, where it's a lovely 81 degrees here in Minneapolis. Unusual. But we are going to take it. Alex, RJ, and I myself, Captain Paul, with you today. Coming to you from Terminal 1, Level 8 on the red ramp at Minneapolis International Airport. Giving you a really great view of 12 right. 17 is another runway we're able to see from here. The north runway was down for maintenance. It's back up running, and it is limited to only narrower body aircraft. All the heavies have to come over on 12s or on 4. We have a great view and great company. Thanks for joining us.
$1672 Minneapolis Tower, 4 and trail, over Boston 1507 on direct foot on.
Good question, Alicia. Doss asks, what will happen in Atlanta and all the airplanes there and the flights? What will happen to all the aircraft and all the flights as the hurricane is coming to Atlanta? Well, a lot of times what happens is that depending on the severity, they will get all those airplanes out of there. I know in South Florida, for the airlines that are down in Miami or Lauderdale, they will get those aircraft out of there and cancel the inbound flights so that the airplanes are safe. And then once the weather passes and everything seems appropriate, they'll bring the airplanes back out and get them back to their cities and do their best to get everybody back home or to their destinations. So that was a really good question. Thanks for asking.
So that Airbus A320 that just landed, that's a U.S. tail number.
It is. Oh, there you go.
2084 miles ground.
Get one more good look at it.
And as you were just sharing with the one that had the question, I was monitoring flight radar last night in regards to that just scenario with the Tampa airport. I followed a flight that went down from here, and then they turned around and came right back.
Oh, sure.
And then I saw the same thing happen. Well, hello. From a flight that flew down from Atlanta. And they disembarked, everybody got everything off and then turned around and flew right back to Atlanta.
Oh, sure.
So any of the aircraft that normally would have sat there overnight for early morning departures the next day, they didn't do that. They flew them back out.
Yeah, there on your screen we got the 321. Delta Flight 942 just coming in from Seattle.
Charlie for 6 Minneapolis, you're on there, still Airbus south near tail, push for your discussion. Ground left it, 956 Whiskey Mike 6 is right there. 956 Whiskey Mike Minneapolis, ground, runway 17, taxi via Whiskey, cross runway 4. Okay, runway 17 via Whiskey, cross runway 4.
We got a push back here at Gulf 9. That is... Not sure
where
it's going. I'm assuming they're going to take that off.
They're going to be moving this aircraft.
Yes. Yep, I agree with you.
Gasoline 35, Minneapolis Tower, traffic 2 mile final, BizJet waits on the other side. Charlie cross 12 right, continue Charlie Tango. Cross 12 right, Charlie Tango, just the way 35. 1672 down to Whiskey 5, and then Whiskey Delta, monitor .9.
5 Whiskey Delta, ground point 9.
There's Sun Country, just landed. 1-2 right.
21.2, monitor tower 126.7, good night.
Push back the heavy here at Gulf 9.
843, monitor tower 123.67 now, good day. 367, XFJ 13, good day. Florida 6 Whiskey Mike, hold short of Charlie here for a second. That's 2962, wind 140 at 7, turn left heading 120.
That aircraft just coming in right now is Delta Flight 2180, 737-900, just coming in from Boise. It's kind of some great video footage from Alex as got the sun somewhat setting in the background.
Thank you very much, Paul.
It's beautiful.
At 843 behind the bus on Charlotte.
Alex is the producer, the chief cook, bottle washer from Minneapolis Airport Live. Does it all. We couldn't have done it without him.
Well, thanks, Paul. And, you know, you helping out, same with you, RJ. It means a lot to me when you guys are able to help me do this. It makes the broadcasts so much more engaging and fun to run, and
At 843, I described that.
I really enjoy it when you guys are able to make it out here.
Well, thank you.
So thanks for being a part of this.
Glad you could make it today, RJ.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was planning on it.
I hadn't been here in months.
Yeah, where have you been?
Oh. Pick a place. I spent most of the summer there in San Juan, doing San Juan flying. And
Of course, you know, we're just kidding. We know you're out flying.
And then the cool thing I did this summer was flying up to Kenora for a Minneapolis corporation. And you get to Kenora, and we take the people down to the float docks, and they had all the float planes, caravans, and turbine otters on floats taking people north about 45 minutes into the islands of northern Canada to go fishing for the weekend. It was cool. When I got into flying, I wanted to be a float plane bush pilot. Didn't go that way, but it's all good.
It worked out after all.
It did. There's the Delta 2284 coming in from Phoenix this afternoon, 737-900.
Sorry, which one again?
So have you at least flown on a float plane?
2284, join out.
Yes, a few times. But I've never landed one, and I've never taken one off. I got up in the air one time. I was up on the Arctic Circle, and somebody told me I was a pilot. They said, "Oh, would you like to fly?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I would." So I got to once I got up to altitude, I got the hand flight. It was a Beaver, the Canadian taxi cab.
Yeah, my mom and I did some float plane flights up in Alaska.
It's a great opportunity.
That and helicopters. We did some helicopter flights, you know, and that's another really interesting way to fly. Totally different.
You bet it is.
Done a couple over in Hawaii and done some up in Alaska over the glaciers. And
oh, what a unique opportunity for you. There's that Phoenix flight, 737-900 Delta. Right now, 81 degrees, winds are 150 at 10. We're using the south runways, 12 left, 12 right this afternoon, and runway 17. Other runways of choice. The north runways are back open, but they're limited to narrow body aircraft. Now, earlier this afternoon, we saw this aircraft that went down to Bentonville, Arkansas, on Denver Flight 5022, 5022. And it's back. That is a CRJ 900. Bentonville, if anybody didn't know, it's the home of Walmart and some of the best mountain biking in the country. It has become a big mountain biking hotbed for many people who love the mountain bike.
5022, 2 left turns, taxi Alpha Delta, Papa, monitor point 9. 2 left turns, Alpha Delta, Papa, monitor round, number 322. That's 2931.
I was actually just at Walmart yesterday getting groceries.
Mike Cross, runway 12 right, join with Delta 2931. That's 2122, fly runway heading for now.
We got Mike 7, Sky 7 says to say hi to him. Hey, Mike.
Mike, man,
thanks for rolling on with us this afternoon. Ed Milton's on board, thank you.
Dear public, runway 4.
We can, if you want to engage with our live chat, go ahead and put, tell us where you're watching us from. It's always kind of unique to see. Alex told me the furthest we've had was from New Zealand.
Out of Hotel 5,
that's pretty exciting.
672, we have made assignment for Hotel 5.
What a beautiful view, Alex.
Whoa,
You've got going. They're taking that...
over to Tech Ops?
Yeah. Yeah, what a beautiful...
Some lucky aircraft has just won a free trip to the spa.
I know when I come over here to go to the museum or the History Center on Thursdays, as I pull off of 494 and I get to the traffic light there, I'm always really looking to see how many Delta tails are sitting over there, because that particular hangar over there was originally built for, was it Republic?
Yep.
And then it was Northwest.
Yeah.
And then of course these days it's Delta.
Well, you know, the other thing is that the training center there, or not the training center, the maintenance facility there was being used by many airlines across the world. They would bring in their airplanes into Minneapolis and they would park over there. So every now and then you might see a Hawaiian. You'd see some foreign carriers coming in and they would get their heavy checks done right over here. So we were always seeing some neat airplanes. Now something really cool is back a number of years ago, King Hussein of Jordan was having some cancer treatments done in Rochester. At the
I know
clinic.
where this is going.
And he would come
I know where this is going.
Yeah. He would come in with his L-1011. And then the Gulfstreams would be sitting there. And then they would get in the Gulfstreams and they would fly down to Rochester so he could go down there and get treatments. So it was really neat to see some of these aircraft coming from all over the world. So right here in Minnesota. A lot of people think Los Angeles, Dallas, Atlanta, New York, but Minneapolis is very much alive in aviation, both in corporate and in airline.
Well, and how about the days when, to our left where we're standing, the hangars were extended further down.
Yes.
The one at the furthest end, closest to us, always had the mural on it. And I remember the times that when they were pulling, some of the aircraft out of service for maintenance and putting them in those older, smaller hangars, which were way too small for them to fit in completely. So they kind of cut out, they did like a cutout in the doors, so that as they pulled the aircraft
the tail
in,
would stick out the back.
Yes, the tail of the airplane was sticking outside, but the rest of the airplane was inside.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I think I've got some old pictures of that in my photo albums.
There's Delta 1181 coming in from Charlotte this afternoon. It's a Boeing 717-200.
Okay, we'll copy. We'll figure it out.
And the phenomenal talent of Alex, getting us some beautiful shots with the sunset. Beautiful views. I know everybody appreciates these views tonight, Alex. Thank you for your talent.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Yep. Midwest Minnesota sunset.
Oh, yes.
And of course, the one other time that we did the broadcast over from T2, we got a great sunset in conjunction with some Sun Country aircraft right in line with the sun.
Oh, sure.
Because of where the sun was at the time, it was right in line. So it was only fitting.
There's United 1986, San Francisco to Minneapolis. It's a 319.
Sure wish it was the year 1986. We'd be seeing a lot more classic jets.
I know, right?
Now, focus on 865, crossing for 1-5. So what was it? Delta 2885, now for 5. So 2885, minutes contact, UBS.
What a beautiful sunset tonight. 81 degrees here in Minneapolis at 26th of September.
They're saying after 59 now, it's time now it's 57, so it should
There's
be about
United
right.
319.
That's 59, 1230. 1986, 2 left turns, join Alpha, which gate tonight?
Subjoin Alpha Echo 7, United 1986.
1986, taxi Alpha and Delta, monitor .9, I'll let them know.
Alpha Delta, monitor .9, 998. Please welcome.
Well, we have been fortunate to have a fantastic day here.
1699, once United passes, Alpha Legate.
Yeah, our hardware is not quite in ship shape, which
The back, I think, wheels up after 01 now.
the network adapter that
86, Alpha Delta.
communicates with the network and the streaming software to get our stream to air. The hardware's been a little bit temperamental today, but our internet, we've really hit a nice breakthrough.
There for about a minute and change, then we'll get shot.
It's just our hardware is not working to the point where we'd like it to, which of course explains the lag.
Sure. Well, we got Sun Country.
And you know what? I want to extend a very big thank you to everybody that has tuned in today, that is continuing to watch our live coverage from Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. And that is a special livery.
Yes, it is.
So a good friend of the show, he's a good friend of mine, Anthony Garcia is a flight attendant for Delta. Looking to have him on the broadcast at some point. His name is on that plane.
No kidding.
Charlie should be on the visual 128. The 481 Echo Charlie map start, good evening. Wind 1, variable is 5. And I want to break the line. Right, put in 481 Echo Charlie. Delta 2885, you'll follow United into the alley. We'll follow United. Aircraft 7875, parking, 8785 minutes contact via Whiskey Delta. Whiskey Delta 875.
Thank you to everyone who's been watching since the beginning.
That is not what the thank you is for. Of course, it's for the
for the employees,
right? For the employees.
Well, we could have said that we had Delta put that on, and we segued that into the show today.
Taxi 6 on flight, runway 12 left, taxi via Romeo. 140.
Also going to punch in here. In addition to the thank you lettering, it also has a cheek stamp on either side. Dedicated to the world's best employees and customers.
So do we think that'll be the highlight of our stream today?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's the first time I've ever seen that one live with my own eyes.
Turn right, join Papa, let's get. Contact point 9.
Well, Luke wrote, good to see somebody is spotting at MSP, not JFK or LAX. That's awesome. Yes.
I enjoy watching the plane spotting from LAX and JFK, but after a while it gets a little old in the sense that, okay, we've kind of seen it enough.
Yes.
And I think that a lot more people are starting to shop around a little bit with live streams and different channels and different airports to get their aviation fix in. I don't know if you do that, Paul, as well. Watch some different live streams.
I do.
It's really impressive to see how many different live channels there are, and especially with webcams that's starting to take off even more now. It's the live aviation revolution
2406 ma'am,
is here.
Absolutely, you're right. I got turned on to these type of programs from my friend Clay, who turned me on to LA, and I would let him know when I was taking off, and he would always videotape my takeoffs and landings. Being an Airbus guy, they don't want to watch us. They want to see the heavies, the 380s and the 767s and all that stuff from all over the world in Los Angeles. So when you watch the Los Angeles stuff, it's all a lot of heavies, which is cool. But
who does not love a heavy aircraft?
Exactly. I mean, you got me. But
no, we're not talking down LAX. That's the aviation mecca of the United States. Basically, the whole world shows up at either JFK or LAX, and more so LAX.
Right. And with Minneapolis, with Delta, and we've got all these carriers coming in here, plus the corporate aviation, we've got some unique opportunities to see airplane that we don't always get to see in the large international airports around the United States. So,
it's a more intimate spotting experience. Is the other thing that I would add, in just the proximity to the action as it happens is also something to take note of, because
we're so close.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look at the lineup of the Delta aircraft that are currently parked out here at the G Concourse.
E61 flight, Minneapolis Tower 12.
No, we had a Sun Country plane that landed a little bit ago that came in from Mexico City. I'm assuming that was a charter.
Looks like somebody's getting catered.
Oh, yeah.
Final.
So expedite Whiskey 5 and stay with you to
Look at that.
What do you think's on the menu?
Just an update for Delta.
Well, I'll tell you what, those biscuit biscuits, I'm over those. Ever seemed like every flight I was getting those. But I did.
I got a friend that he flies so much on Delta Airlines, he's got this whole tote in his pantry. It's just filled with Biscoff cookies.
Well, you know,
he's got another one that's filled with those little shooters of Woodford Reserve whiskey.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, that's funny. I got a sleeve of Biscoffs from a flight attendant one day, and I brought them home. And my daughter said, I think I'm going to use this for a pie crust. So now when she makes key lime pie, she only uses the Biscoff cookies.
That actually sounds really flame. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? You have got to be joking.
Look at that.
Oh, that's the TWA American livery.
Look at that. We got the Reno Air earlier, and this evening we have the TWA.
Just when I was just going to go swap out my glasses.
I know. That aircraft came in from Dallas.
406, turn left, taxi DB
737-800. Flight 2406. How fortunate are we to share this with you today as well?
And Paul, the last time that you were on with us here at MSP Airport Live was when this aircraft came in.
Yes, yeah, you are absolutely right.
Imagine that.
Wow, how cool.
This was not on the schedule as of yesterday, I don't think.
Well, you know, aircraft swaps.
We'll gladly take that equipment swap. Thank you, American.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to finally go swap out my glasses. I wasn't going to miss that.
Leading the way, TWA. This is a retro livery for the fallen airline Trans World Airlines, the very famous Trans World Airlines. And it was absorbed into the American system right at the turn of the millennium.
Airplane 303, Minneapolis Tower 12 right, clear to land, 1506. Country 1926, cross runway 12 right here at Charlie. What's the gate number today? 1926, Roger. I think it's open text to be at Charlie and Charlie 1. You can monitor ground off by 9.
How's that for a show ender? It's a fabulous finale. The Delta Thank You livery A321. And this, the TWA Retro 737. Well, RJ, it's been a fantastic episode of live plane spotting, don't you think? I mean, just with all of the surprises we got here at the end. I mean, today's been full of surprises, both good and bad. I mean, even before I started setting up equipment. But it's just been a fabulous day, and getting to spend it with you and Paul, cannot be happier.
Oh, I wasn't going to miss this. When I saw him listed as a part of the title of the stream, I said, oh, I got to be here.
Yeah, Captain Paul, he's a great individual, provides so much insight, and he had to step off headset for just a second.
Oh, yeah. I know I'll be giving it up.
Yeah, we most certainly will.
Yep, life is full of surprises. And we've had some today. And of course, we're certainly going to take advantage of this weather while we can get it, because we know what's coming.
We still got the rest of October and most of November, so there is still going to be plenty more live plane spotting before that colder weather starts to sink in. And folks, if you want to support our efforts here at MSP Airport to help improve what we do to bring you the live plane spotting from the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul International Airports, consider becoming a YouTube member today for an interactive streaming experience, access to new YouTube content if it's posted. And if you are a member with us, we try and prioritize your messages on stream. So we will display the super chats, any comments we think are interesting, just to kind of keep it a little bit more open, a little bit more engaging for all of you. And of course, you get a lot of fun emojis that you get to spam in the chats. You get a nice membership badge. It's a really cool looking badge. I worked a little bit on it myself in the design process. And we have a really wonderful membership community, and it would mean the world to us by becoming a member of our channel. Memberships start at just $2.99 per month, all the way up to about $25, I want to say. And don't feel obligated to do so, but if you really want to help us out monthly for not a lot, again, that means the world to us. Consider becoming a YouTube member of MSP Airport Live today, and want to extend a big thank you to all of the existing or current YouTube members of our channel. You folks rock and help us to pay all the overhead and keep improving our broadcasts. And also be sure to follow us on Instagram at MSP Airport Live. We'll be posting reels. We'll also post announcements there. Feel free to check us out if you're one of those social media nuts.
I'll send you the text to the show. It's called radio. It's like coastal country. So it's like a mix between the Mark Radio channel and the Kitty channel. So I'm glad. Thank you for letting me come by. I really appreciate it. Sorry I got to run. I got to take care of this. So take care, guys.
Paul Hansen saying goodbye for now.
Yep, he's had some things come up that he's got to leave us to attend to, so.
Yeah. And also, if you want to stay up to date on some channel updates, the miscellaneous MSP-related aviation information as it comes to us, or anything schedule-related, try and curate it the best we can for you on our X account. At MSP Airport Live is our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter. And we might even be posting some video content on there. We'll see. If you want to check us out on X, feel free to do so with our tag at MSP Airport Live.
All right, I thought I heard something off the north side. It was flight leaving to head to Vancouver, Delta flight 2977. Of course, we can't see them, but I heard them.
Well, you know what? I was going to start signing off here, but this is just too interesting to...
Oh, yeah, they opened the doors over there.
Super 6, Monitor Tower 126.7.
Yes, they did. How neat is that? We get a glimpse inside one of the hangars over at Signature. There's a really nice looking metal in there, I'll tell you what.
Probably pretty expensive, too.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
The bucks.
If you had a private jet, RJ, which one would you go for? If money was no object.
Wow. Good question. Because then I'd have to have somebody fly it.
On ground, point 9er.
Charlie Cross 12 right. Bravo to the gate, point 9er, Super 6.
Possibly, something enough where I could go transatlantic. Go visit my friends in the Netherlands.
Papa, contact ground on point 9er.
Sounds like a fantastic idea. I'd really like to check out Amsterdam myself.
At a 1480.
Have you been to AMS?
Yes, I have.
Left, cleared for takeoff.
First time we ever flew transatlantic, it was that was the destination.
1506.
Left turn on Quebec, hold short of Charlie.
And then we spent like 2 days, 2 nights, kind of something like that before we got on our first ever European cruise. That's the one where we visited St. Petersburg, Russia.
Okay, where are you going to? Up on 6, up on 10, take the pop of the gate. Cool.
Heading 105, runway 12 left, clear for takeoff.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that particular time in our broadcast for us to finally say goodbye. And be sure to stay tuned to MSP Airport Live and everything that's happening. If you want notifications, you can follow us on our Twitter page at MSP Airport Live is our handle there. You can also follow us on our YouTube page, where else, and you get notifications whenever we go live. New videos are posted. Visit our YouTube channel, consider subscribing, as well as also check out our Patreon if you want the full stutter-free playback of all of our broadcasts. I mean, if we have anything that happens, we're putting the master recordings on there now, so if you're a Patreon member, first class it up, you'll have access to that. So that's a exclusive perk for our Patreons to watch the pre-recorded as it happened on-demand episodes of MSP Airport Live. And final thoughts as we close this one out, RJ.
Oh, this was an awesome stream today. I know we struggled a little bit at the beginning, but we got it figured out, and with Captain Paul here, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the stream and learning from everything that he chose to share with us today, because he is a real bona fide Airbus. But he's A320?
Yes.
A320 captain. So, hey, why not get to listen to a real bona fide, awesome pilot?
Yeah, somebody who knows so much about aviation, has a real passion for it, and we're just really grateful to be able to pick his brain and to really get insight from him, and just to have all of the wonderful support that he provides every single time that he's out there doing our broadcasts. He's such an invaluable member to the team. Yeah, it's always fun when he's out here. And same with you as well. It's It's been a pleasure.
Oh, I love coming out to help you out. I know that once we get closer to the start of my winter season, I don't know how much I'll be able to be out here, but if I don't make it out during the winter season, then I hope to get back to it in the spring for sure.
Well, that'll just about do it for our broadcast from Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport this evening. For Paul Hansen, for RJB, and our entire MSP Airport Live team, I'm Alex Renning, wishing you a wonderful weekend ahead. Blue skies and tailwinds, everybody. We'll see you again on the next MSP Airport Live. Take care.
Welcome to DG Pilot Aviation Collectibles and More and our St. Paul showroom and warehouse. From the time your order is placed until it is delivered to you, our #1 goal is to provide you with the best customer service experience. That's why we're excited to take you behind the scenes today at our warehouse to provide you an up-close perspective of our model aircraft delivery experience. Our first step in the model aircraft delivery process takes place after your order is received. Our model aircraft delivery specialists will conduct a detailed inspection of your model for quality control to ensure we provide you with the highest quality products. Each specialist begins the inspection by removing the model from the box and performing a visual inspection of the model, checking features such as the wings, landing gear, and antenna, as well as the overall model for defects. After the inspection is complete, your model is reboxed and then prepared for packing. Each model is then bubble wrapped to provide an extra cushion to prevent any damage during shipping. After the bubble wrap process is complete, the model is then boxed for shipping. Our specialist then reconfirms your model is ready for shipping, attaches a shipping label, and then your model is sent out for delivery. We hope that you'll consider DG Pilot Aviation Collectibles for your model aircraft collecting needs. You can order products online at dgpilot.com or visit our St. Paul showroom where we have hundreds of model aircraft to choose from. From all of us at DG Pilot, thank you for your continued business, loyalty, and support, and happy collecting.